Today, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series roars to life for the first time ever at this 1.5, 7-ton.
All right, we're good.
Well, the fans have absolutely
The live stream set up.
a more quick day to go racing. It's a doubleheader with us and with ARCA. You see it there, 74 degrees. It was 100 degrees here 2 days ago. So we are.
We're good. All right, here. Yo. What's going on, everybody? Chase fan number 9 here. Welcome to another live stream. Today, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series makes their inaugural debut at Lime Rock Park. Man, out of all the tracks that NASCAR has raced at, I never thought that Lime Rock Park would get a chance to be on the NASCAR schedule, whether it was for Cup, Xfinity, or trucks. But I think trucks will definitely work well at this track. This track is 1.478 miles, has 7 turns. That's the fewest turns I've seen on the road course, probably next to Watkins Glen. So yeah, should be a good race. And this is the Truck Series first road course of the year too. So we'll see how this goes. Wow, what else? Yeah, we got. Yeah, there's a lot of uphill, downhill sections. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of downhill runs too. What else? The stages 1 and 2 are both 35 laps long, and stage 3 is 30 laps. I'm surprised it's not 30, 30, 40. Oh well. Anyways, yeah, the race is 100 laps. This race is called the LiUNA 150. So yeah. Hold on, I'll get to your question in a moment. So Corey Heim is on pole, but we do have a lot of road course ringers in this field. One of them is Jordan Taylor. Yes, the IMSA driver. Jordan Taylor is going to start second driving for Spire Motorsports in the number 7. Can't wait to see what he does. He's one of the favorites going into today's race. We also got Brent Cruz, Connor Mosack, Andre Perez. Thomas Annunziata is making his Truck Series debut, also at Spire Motorsports in the 07. We also got Cam Waters from Down Under, from Australia. Got Josh Balicki in the 44, Ben Meyer in the 02. We also got Alex LeBay, Timmy Hill, William Lambros, Dale Quarterly, and Wesley Slimp driving a second Hallmark Friesen truck. So yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, all those drivers I just mentioned all have experience winning on the road courses or road course experience in general. So let's see how they do. Anyways, to your question, well, needless to say, the Xfinity race at Atlanta was pretty chaotic yesterday. That's for sure, Shahir. The good news is none of the RCR drivers won. Jesse Love and Austin Hill. Yeah, Austin Hill got plagued by mechanical issues early on in the race, and he went 6 laps down. He finished the race, but he was out of winning contention. there was a big wreck early on that took out several good contenders like Creed, Allgaier, Ryan Sieg, Catherine Legg. Jesse Love was also in it, but was able to continue. Um, there were also a few more wrecks that happened that took out more contenders. Yeah, it was a pretty chaotic race. The longest green flag run we had in the race yesterday was at least 32 laps, so that's not too bad, especially for a plate or a super speedway or for a drafting track. So yeah, it was pretty chaotic, but at the end of the day, we had a first-time winner, Nick Sanchez for Big Machine Racing. Man, hey mom, here's that commercial. You want Frankie Muniz in it? Of course, we're going to be able to take this case. Hey, not right now, man. Meetings. This year has started off everything, really. That's crazy. But really, super stoked to have him here. Morgan and Morgan and Gibbs, America's largest interloper. Anyways, yeah, Atlanta Motor Speedway is a track that owes Big Machine Racing a win. I mean, keep in mind, this is the team that, well, if this makes up for all the races that Parker Kligerman should have won last year. I mean, to be fair, Kligerman almost won Atlanta several times, so there's that. Post-race inspection was good. Everyone passed, so there was no issues. Yeah, also, so yeah, it was Sanchez, Almirola, Taylor Gray, Connor Zilish, Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love were among some of the drivers that had time at the front. It's okay to feel bad about constantly forgetting your password. That's our time today. Great progress. See you next week. Have a good one. I wish. Keep worrying that I forgot to lock up my shop. I gotta go back and check. You know, with alarm video security and burglar alarm systems, you can monitor your business right from your phone. No second guessing, no double checking. Yeah, Nick Sanchez's race wasn't a clean one either. Sanchez had a spin early on the race on the front stretch, but thankfully he managed not to tear up his car, which is a good thing. Oh, you're playing Call of Duty Warzone. Oh, okay, nice. I've played Call of Duty before with a friend. Oh yeah, Mike Joy is the artist. International racing star and local hero John Fish joined with Jim Bale, the property owner, to lay out this beautiful 1.5-mile road course. We have footage of the first race here in 1957. You'll see those cars driving off into Big Bend the same way the trucks will today. That tailpipe smoke is a byproduct of the fuel they had to use back then. In the early 70s, it was the Trans Am. Mark Donahue won here for Roger Penske. So did Sam Posey and Parnelli Jones driving front-forward Mustang. Donahue and Posey in the biggest race ever held here. In the 80s and 90s, it was Camel GT. Stars like Parnelli's son PJ,
Davy Jones in the Jaguar, Jeff Bradham and John Morton in Nissans, and Wayne Taylor, whose son Jordan is on the outside pole for today's truck race. Local heroes, we've got Sam Posey has the first straight named for his accomplishments here. And actor, philanthropist, turned racer Paul Newman drove Bob Shark Dobson's here to a number of victories and won national championships. This was his playground, and the back straightaway is named for him. Now, today is not the first ever truck race at LiUNA. The SCCA had a compact road truck series in the late 1980s. That's where bug traffic was invented and perfected. So, two unique things about Lime Rock Park. One, all of the turns are named, not numbered. Two, there has never been a single grandstand or even a set of bleachers here. Everybody brings their picnic blankets and their lawn chairs. And
yeah, that's Mike Joy.
Just as I'm about to do. Sounds like so much fun. And Trevor, I think we've heard that all morning long from these drivers. How much fun they're having on this racetrack. That's cool when you come to a new place historic, like here at Lime Rock, and then the drivers love it.
Yeah, drivers love it when they have something they can manage, right? Watch them slide and slip.
Okay, hello, Eric. Welcome to the stream.
Love it. Mike's in there with the fans. Let's now go trackside for the most famous words in racing.
Race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command for the inaugural LiUNA 150 at Lime Rock Park, please welcome from LiUNA, General Secretary and Treasurer Michael F. Sabatoni.
Thank you. Welcome to beautiful Lime Rock Park. On behalf of the 530,000 proud, strong, united men and women of Laborers International Union in North America, our General President Brett Booker, Vice President Regional Manager Dan Diego, and our General Executive Board, thank you for having us here today to sponsor this beautiful event. It is with honor and pleasure that I say God bless our troops, God bless the United States of America. And with that, I would like to say, drivers, are you ready? Start your engines!
Well done. 34 trucks are fired. We'll make history. We'll wave that green flag from Lime Rock Park. That's all coming up next. 100 laps ahead.
Before taking Breztri for my COPD, I had bad days. Days ruined by flare-ups. They could permanently damage my lungs. Then I talked to my doctor about Breztri, and I noticed things changed. Breztri gave me better breathing. Starting within 5 minutes, my lung function improved. Breztri also helped improve my symptoms, and was even proven to reduce flare-ups, including those that could send me to the hospital. Now, I worry less about bad days and enjoy more good days.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth and tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Can't afford your medication? AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Ask your doctor about Breztri for COPD.
How many swimmers are in the photo?
Are you the smartest in the room?
How did you figure it out?
I got a jerk.
This is working out great.
Only July 8th on Fox.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles right here in America. And now we've lowered MSRP on Rogue and Pathfinder at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on Rogue or Pathfinder. It's time for the Coke debate. Who's the greatest cash banker of all time? I earn 1.5% on finger paint.
Got 3% on barbecue too, man. The only thing that's getting smoked.
You just cash back like a pro with Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you
See it, hear it, feel it. Introducing all new high-limit slots, showcasing over 260 exciting slots, impeccable service, premium amenities, and action that's unmatched. Thunder, feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder.
Are we stranded?
Hey guys, I got AAA.
When you're a AAA member, you're covered in anyone's car. Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles right here in America.
Yep, this is the first of this will be the first of 2 live streams today. The other is the Cup race at Atlanta later on tonight, so that's going to be fun. And tomorrow there's going to be no live streams as there's no IndyCar race tomorrow. Yeah, IndyCar is off this weekend. They'll be back next weekend at Mid-Ohio. And next week's going to be fun too because it's going to be the Chicago Street Course. I can't wait for that. So, yeah. Yeah, I did acknowledge that the Xfinity race ended shortly after midnight last night. Yeah, for those who stayed up last night to watch the race, man, yeah, I was 100% confident they were going to get the whole race in before, well, not before midnight, but before any more storms popped up, and sure enough, they did. So, yeah.
You mentioned it, for several weeks. We saw him inching closer to that win. There were a couple times he had a shot at the win and maybe didn't close it out, but last weekend at Pocono, everything.
So, aside from the road course ringers I mentioned earlier, as far as the other regulars are concerned, drivers to look out for as well. Corey Heim is on the pole, no surprise. Lane Riggs is. Oh yeah. Anyways, driver. Aside from the road course ringers, drivers to look out for today, like as far as the regulars are concerned, Lane Riggs, he's fresh off that win at Pocono from last weekend. He starts third. Ty Majeski hasn't won this year, so look out for him to be strong. Caden Honeycutt was strong last week. Raja Caruth is up there. Chandler Smith. Bill McAllen Racing needs to get back on their A game because they haven't won since Rockingham earlier this year.
Starting just next to him, Jordan Taylor, the road course superstar, truck debut.
And as we look at Road 2 here, Jamie, you see a couple regulars. We talked about Lane Riggs and his win at Pocono.
Gio Ruggiero, Grant Enfinger. Yeah, Enfinger needs to get a win sooner. Jake Garcia, Stuart Friesen, Tanner Gray. Hope he can back up, go for another top or podium finish because he finished second last week.
Take a look at the rest of the lineup. Kind of a mix from front to back.
That was Australia's Cam Waters. He's going to go for the 16th position. Thomas Annunziata, another road course ace, starting us out the top 20.
Look a little farther back here. Ben Rhodes, I know he wasn't very happy with his qualifying run. Neither was Tanner Gray. Track position will be important at this narrow road course, so starting further back than they would want it.
Road 10 has 16-year-old Ben Mayer making his Truck Series debut.
Zach Wood had some issues in qualifying, didn't get to do so. And
so that's what Wesley Slimp looks like. Wesley Slimp, 62.
Frankie Muniz there in row 15. He'll have an encore today with a foot cam, which is something that's always fun to watch these road courses. See how, as you mentioned, their slide road, they have to manage it, not just the steering.
Then, of course, they got ARCA driver Dale Quarterly in the field also in the 32. Lime Rock Park in Connecticut.
Thank you, Jamie. 1956, they built Lime Rock Park. And back then, they didn't worry about the technical aspect of driving race cars. They wanted to have
They also
fun.
have a straight named after Paul Newman called the Paul Newman Straight.
Said, absolutely one of the most fun race
Yeah.
they've ever been on. And doesn't go without its technical portion, too, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Two,
Oh, yeah,
three,
the infamous
four.
MAV TV 500 at Auto Club Speedway, a race that had the record lead changes, Graham Rahal winning, and then Ryan Briscoe flipping on the front stretch. Yeah, he was subbing for the injured James Hinchcliffe at the time. For who would have thought after all the who would have thought in 10 years time that Schmidt Peterson Motorsports would become Arrow McLaren?
We're going to be checking in with Todd throughout today's race. Well, we have two pit reporters covering all the action. There's Caitlin Vinci and Josh Sims. Good day, Josh.
Good day, JB, and I can tell you this about Corey Hine. He has been the dominant truck all season long. 4 wins, and if you ask him, he could argue he should have twice as many, and he's done it on all different types of tracks, so it's no surprise he is on the pole for today's race. They felt good about their truck yesterday in practice, felt like they made some changes to get even better, and keep this in mind, Corey Hine has won the last 2 truck races on road courses. No driver has ever won 3 in a row, so Corey has a chance to make some history out here today, Caitlin.
Well, Josh, one driver to keep an eye on with some work to do is former champion Ben Rhodes, entering this race 60 points below the cut line. And I had a chance
as far as the 62 is concerned, yeah, it's been a while since the 62s ran in the truck series. I think the last time I saw them on track was 3 years ago when Todd Bodine came back from out of retirement and did those truck series races, and then Jessica Friesen, Stewart's wife, who's also a race car driver, did the truck race at Knoxville.
Place is a mile and a half in length. We talked a lot about the history and the significance of this racetrack. 7 turns on the road course. You can see the front straightaway is 40 feet wide, but the rest of the circuit is only 30 feet wide, which means it's very narrow. Passing is going to be
and just a friendly reminder, this may be the Truck Series first time at Lime Rock, but not NASCAR's first time at the track itself. They run like other races here. But anyways, here they come to the line. Green flag in the Truck Series race at Lime Rock Park is green. Corey Heim gets a good start.
We're just going to see that all day long. And you look how those 2 trucks side by side fill up the whole racetrack. Great action, great stuff.
But as I was saying earlier, yeah, I think some of the NASCAR West Series have raced at this track before, back in the 2000s, 2010s. So, yeah, NASCAR is no stranger to this track.
Well, get ready, Trevor, because as the last go on, these truckers tend to get a little wilder and wilder. We're going to see a lot of off-track action, I guarantee you that.
Daniel Hemrick taking a peek right now. Hasn't had the best speed, hasn't had the best truck since we've been here. He's trying to make the most of it early here.
You see these drivers go on the front stretch. This is the first time they've been around other vehicles. In practice, you can see everything. Now you have 20 other trucks obstructing your view. Where's my braking zone at? How do I figure out this corner that I've only got 20 laps on for my whole career?
So Chandler Smith right there in the 38 celebrated a birthday 2 days ago, turned 23 side by side with Connor Mozak. Connor Mozak, we talked about him a lot on the ovals, but of course racing is what he knows.
Shahir and Eric. As you just saw right there on screen, that is where the choose cone will be.
Perez showed some strength this morning, guys. Fastest in that first group in qualifying.
The Spire teammates going at it right there. That's for 10th place.
Looking inside of Chandler Smith.
Thomas and Unziata, that 07, so another road race guy. Just getting used to the truck. He's going to be solid all day long.
Yeah, Thomas Annunziata is going to do double duty today because I think he's doing the ARCA race, which will be after this.
There's going to be a lot of challengers that Corey's going to have to turn away if he's going to win this race.
Xfinity.
Stage 2, he's won so many stages and been set up to win, 12 of our 14 championship racing so far, and he's only won 5. Well, what happens? You get a flat tire, you
Yep.
can't use them
The
to
Arca
restart.
West series will be there Friday.
Corey is not going to want that with how things have gone for him lately.
Well, this is the 15th race of the season. Corey Hunt has led in every single one of them. And you mentioned stage wins. He has a whopping 12.
And Jamie, the last 4, whose second stages, he won all 4. So when it comes down to go time, he is there week in and week out. What a job he's doing in that 11 truck.
Well, and our top 4 guys, we mentioned it in the rundown. We have 2 regulars, Corey Hunt, Blake Riggs, and then you have 2 road course ringers, Jordan Taylor, Greg Cruz. They're all learning something new. Some are learning the trucks for the first time. Some are learning road racing and the track and White Rock Park for the first time. We see Jordan Taylor and Greg Cruz kind of stalking them down. They're going to get better every lap as they learn the limits of these trucks.
And that was awesome in qualifying. I mean, he came off turn 7, the downhill there we saw in the pre-race, and was all the way off the road and still qualified inside the top 5. So I'm looking for that number 1 truck to be a factor before this day's over.
Yeah, Michael, and I talked to Brent after qualifying about that. He said his truck's just kind of bouncing a lot. There's more bumps on this racetrack than they could have predicted from their simulation. The drivers spent tons of time preparing for this race. They ran hundreds of laps on this racetrack, but it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something a little different when you show up here for the real thing.
And Brent Cruz in that 1 truck, just the second time he's been in this series. He's doing double duty running the Arkham and R2, so he's got double the lap times just this weekend alone than most everybody else. There's 3 doing double duty, but Brent right now trying to find his way around the 7 of Jordan Taylor.
What about Jordan Taylor, world-renowned road course racer, and the kid, 17-year-old Brent Cruz, just pounding him right now. I think he's a little bit faster than Jordan.
Such a competitive series, Michael. And then you add in just first-timers, then the veterans that have been here for so long. Those road course aces. We have a 16-year-old, we got a 63-year-old. We got it all for you.
Remember, you talked about simulation and how much work, preparation, engineering-wise.
Dale Quarterly's the oldest driver in this field.
Doing their part online, racing this track, doing all the studying they can do. That's a huge part of racing these days.
Absolutely it is. I mean, ideally, if you could come here and race something else, Gio Ruggiero came and ran a TA2 car here. We mentioned Jordan Taylor's won a couple races here. Greg Cruz working on it. But if you can't get on the track, the best thing is to get on iRacing, to get in your simulator with your team, with the support you have, and make as many laps as possible. How can I get more used to the visuals? You see right there, Peyton Honeycutt tracking out wide using every ounce of asphalt for turn 5. I can't wait until we settle down a little bit and we can start showing some of these shots as we see Peyton Honeycutt attacking on Clive Majeski through turn 7.
Oh, Brent Cruz off the road a little bit here. It looks like up ahead of him. And look at Roger Caruth in the 71. Can he step away to get him 3 wide as they hit
71 coming up behind the 45 and the 98.
Clive Majeski has to give up that spot there for the most part. This big bend is a long sweeping corner, and even if you don't give up the spot, they're going to push you wide. Now with Raja Caruth, though, he can contend here through turn 3. Raja's set up for the right-hander, though. Is he going to be able to keep enough distance there to fight for that spot?
He is doing just that, battling for that position.
The only left-hander on the course. Look at that, a little contact, Raja Caruth.
Yeah, I had some last night.
Clive Majeski, our defending series champion, hanging on. This is the battle for 6.
I said I had some last night before I went to bed.
The left-hander and the right-hander. Wow, let's take a look at that.
There was like only 4 left. Yeah, but only at different times, Mom.
Turn 7, setting up that pass by Raja. Let's see what we
Here's our leader, Corey Heim. Going wide.
That tells you that they're just running right on the edge. Remember, we see it every week with the trucks. These races are
You know,
quick.
11
They're short.
a little off-road racing.
Good.
right now, if you drop a tire off the asphalt, not that big of a penalty as long as you're going straight. As the race goes on, more and more trucks do that. They drop a tire off. That run is going to get bigger. The consequences are going to get worse. But that turn 7, we saw Clive Majeski struggling through there. That is one of the most important corners on the racetrack to be head down the hill to. And now, because that sets up the passing zone in turn 1. If you cannot get up this corner here with lane Riggs going through 7, you can get back to the gas early. You're 3 to it. You're going to get somebody attacking every time you get down this hill straightaway.
Riding aboard the plane Riggs. You see a view looking at the leader, Corey Heim. It's a great day to be at the racetrack. It's all about the kids, all about the families. What a
Alex LeBay.
At Ace, we know whether you grill with charcoal, gas, pellet, or griddle.
I think Mike Joy is there on the
Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place.
he's on
like
gonna be on
Big
Pit
Blue
Road,
Lake,
I think.
Traeger, and Blackstone. With free assembly and delivery of your new grill, along with all the sauces, rubs, and grilling extras, you'll have everything you need for your perfect barbecue. That sounds pretty perfect. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Some folks are drawn to open country. Others crave the loud roar of a high-performance exhaust. And some like both. We call them family.
Bounty Mega Roll lasts longer, so you can tackle
Apple sauce and avocado, berries, butter, coffee cream, crispy fingers, deviled eggs, and empanadas, red and green.
Bounty Mega Roll with clean spills without running out.
And mommy's got just a banana.
Bounty, the quicker picker up.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing and homebound. And I need you, and I miss.
They say you can't change the game. While they're talking, we're out here dominating. So let them talk. Sketchy basketball comes with that performance.
Subway's footlongs are packed with protein, like the Ultimate BMT or the All-Pro Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki, with 58 grams of protein. And now, Subway MVP Rewards members can buy any footlong in the app and get another for just $1. Fuel up now in the Subway app.
There's a place no map will show you where GR cars turn into full-blown track beasts. Every apex we nail, every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. You in?
This is racing. This is the best weekend of your summer.
I didn't realize that the land that Thunder Valley sits on is tribal land.
The road to 2026 continues tomorrow on Fox with the Gold Cup quarterfinal. U.S. men's
What do you
national
think
team
they
takes
do
on
when they
Costa
do it,
Rica.
Cameron?
No easy path.
Because
No
the area is
second
called
chances.
Auburn Rancheria and all.
That's at 6 Eastern on Fox. And
That's
back
why
here
they're
at
able
Live
to
Rock
build what they
Park,
build. All those
step
casinos.
aside. Tanner Gray had a little off-road excursion.
We're picking up dirt all over this place, Jamie.
We sure are. We've only had one truck truly go around this weekend, and that was Grant Enfinger this morning. Here's a look at the 15.
Just swings wide into the corner, lost grip to the front end, and had to correct her, Trevor. Off the track he went.
Yeah, and that's so important here to be able to get down to that curve you see on the right where Frankie
You
Muniz
can see
is at.
Frankie Muniz on board.
But she's got wide with that sweeping corner. As soon as you drop a left front, you see slip there with the left front off. It just pulls you all
They
the
have
way out.
Trevor Bain in the booth.
Yes, I can hear him.
Leslie Slim making his debut.
He's in a backup truck after some issues yesterday.
Big fire yesterday. Scary moment for him, but we got the backup truck out. Back on track this morning. Used the qualifying as a little practice session.
Tanner Gray, really strong at Pocono. Last week got second, but today he just struggled. Currently riding back in the 30th position. How about that, Davey? How good you've got to be one week, finish the second, and how competitive things are the next. He's riding back in 30th.
We've got 4 races left before the playoffs, Michael. It's go or go home, and he's one of those guys that he's in a must-win situation.
Yeah, I think we've seen a ton of improvement for Tanner Gray for the second half of this first part of the season. He has been really fast, as you mentioned, second place at Pocono. But I got to be honest, this was not one mark on his calendar he was looking forward to. Not a big fan of the road courses. He's been working on it, spent a lot of time. We went to Kershaw and tested earlier this year. I talk about Corey Hyman, the amount of time he spent on the simulator. Tanner was on all those sessions with us. He was on there running laps. And it's just sometimes hard to correlate from the sim to the real thing. And this is not something he loves, that's for sure.
Well, so many sights and sounds, so much challenges for the drivers. Let's hop on board with playing race for a lap here.
Yeah, I love this. You're going to hear a lot of throttle modulation down in turn one, a couple downshifts. Slides up on this curve.
That's Big Ben as he works his way off turn 2. Trevor, is the next corner Parliament or not?
No, I don't think it's Parliament. No, it's just the left-hander, Michael. So if you want to set up this exit, though, you got to be tight to the left and be straight driving at the right-hander. All those first 3-4 corners connect, and then this is onto the straight. They call it Parliament straight, but not very straight going through there. Still winding through to turn 5.
And then when you get to turn 5, the uphiller, this thing's got a lot going on. Look at that exit. Boom. You just hop off that corner, head down the hill to turn 7, the downhill corner onto the front straightaway. I guess probably the most important corner, would you say, is the downhill here? Because it sets you up for that long run down the front straightaway.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not for lap time. You know, I think that turns 1 through 4 is kind of where you make lap time. But once you're around other trucks, you have got to be good through 7. I think when 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're sliding, you can kind of keep them behind you and play the games. But through there, you're on defense if you're not going to turn 7. Josh.
Lane Riggs is our most recent winner in the Truck Series, getting it done at Pocono last week. When it comes to road course racing, that's a little bit new for him. This is only his second time in a truck on a road course. But he actually had a chance to come to Line Rock about 4 weeks ago and drive a Dark Horse Mustang around this track, so he does have some familiarity. During practice yesterday, he got a tight truck, did stop at the qualifying well as he sees 76 off the track, but right now he's running inside.
76 is
That's a
off
great
the
point about Lane Riggs. Hasn't been in the series that long. And you mentioned we're looking at Spencer Boyd, the 76 parts, but not a lot of road course experience for Lane Riggs. Rookie of the year in the series last year. This is the first of the 3 road courses we'll go to this season.
We're seeing his rear wheel spin there on Spencer Boyd. I think he's going to get back going again. He's going to blend right around where the leaders are at here in turn 3. Got a right front tire down. It'll be interesting to see if he can make it back to pit road because he's on the other end of the racetrack.
Spencer had some issues prior to this spin. A couple of laps down already, just trying to lift it back home as here comes Corey Heim around him.
We stay green for now, which you see 20 laps to go in stage number 1.
You see the blue flag there. That's a local caution. They can at least warn drivers if there's someone slow or something on the track in front of them. A little different than what we see at an oval where we have full force caution every time.
There's the gap from first to second.
Lane is flirting with disaster there. Did you see how close he was to the grass turning into the corner? You see every ounce of that 30 feet that they've got.
He's getting a little nervous. That guy in the 11 gets smaller out that windshield. He wants to try to run him down. Look at this battle. Cam Waters. There's Tanner Green at 15. We know he had some issues early. Now he's caught up with Timmy Hill. He's moving forward, but not very fast, Trevor. Timmy's running 28. He's going to try and make that move.
That's Jack Wood, the 91, just ahead of him. He's the biggest mover in the race so far, up 7 spots. They made some adjustments before qualifying this morning, so they were not able to qualify, and NASCAR put them in the back. So an uphill battle for Jack Wood. And this battle right here, range is on.
And Binger off the road at qualifying with a little bit of damage.
10, 11, 12, 13, all right here.
Talked to Randy, said it wasn't enough to matter. It's just a driver error, and he was going to get that all squared away in this race today. He's running really strong right now in that Nitro.
Let's get an update on Ty Majeski, Caitlin.
Yeah, Jamie, well, a lot of people may not realize that Ty Majeski, when he came to Thorsport, originally was hired as a race engineer. He told me that he worked on scanning all the suspension parts and cataloging them for the team. So he said, I saw every part and piece that came through this racetrack, which really helped him on the driving side. He said as much as he loves driving, he really enjoys the engineering and creativity as well that goes into working on these race trucks. But former champion, right now occupying that 9th spot on track. Jamie?
Yeah, I love that. He knows every part of these race trucks. This year, Duke said, you're a champion, you take a back seat, we'll take care of a lot of the minutia that comes with these trucks. You just focus on driving, and so far, doing a nice job here right now.
A little bit of damage on that right front fender there we see on the 98, probably from that early restart when they were side by side. He didn't start in the top 4 and he's back to 9th, so that obviously did not go his way being on the outside of that second row.
Yeah, because the maximizer during his qualifying lap. In practice, we didn't really see all that much speed out of him, but now, falling back after a great qualifying run, Hamilton has got in there in the 07, speeding up his tailgate.
Let's go on board with Frankie Muniz. Here's a couple unique camera angles. We can take a look at what he's doing out the back, as well as for the driver seat and see what he's doing with his feet. This is the Morgan on board.
Well, in 20 laps in, Jamie, you're going to start to feel maybe a little bit of brake fade if you get close to somebody. So you're going to see him tap that brake pedal once in a while just to make sure he's got good brakes. You see him there down the front straightaway, and the pedal's firm, like pushing that brake. But more interesting is watching that right foot.
constantly trying to search for grip. You don't want to line up the rear tires and spin those things. But you can, just barely go to it a little much, make it rotate, or you can stay under those rear tires and not push as hard to get that grip you need. England.
Well, Trevor, I did have a chance to talk with Frankie about the season. The last two races have gone a little bit better for the team. He feels like they are starting to make some gains. But of course, most people know Frankie Muniz from Hollywood in the acting world. And I asked him about the transition from acting to driving. He said, you know what? Honestly, driving is so much harder because unlike being an actor, it's not subjective. He said, as an actor, you can put in all the work, so you can do a great job on the film, and the viewers might still not like it. But he said, as far as driving, it's very cut and dry. The results speak for themselves. They're pretty black and white. So he said, I know exactly where I need to improve. But very neat having a name like Frankie Muniz competing week to week here in this truck series, Jamie. Yeah, Malcolm in the middle. They just shot a Malcolm reboot. He was actually filming that while racing. But this is his first love. He has always wanted to be a race car driver.
Morgan and Morgan and Muniz, there I saw him do some stuff on his social media, joining the Morgan and Morgan team. So it's one of that sponsorships that love to activate around NASCAR. And Frankie Muniz is a great guy to do just that with.
Well, Trevor, right behind him, trying to find a way around.
Well, and I love what he said about the numbers don't lie, right? It's not an opinion of
He's
power.
39.
It is about what does that scoreboard say the other day? And I always love that when I race. When we get done with this broadcast today, I might get a text or two from a friend like, hey, good job, or you really messed that up, from Michael over here beside me. But when you're racing a truck, you can tell exactly how much time you're off. Where is that time out? Now, the hard part about this is it driver? Is it the truck? Is it the setup? And so these drivers, whether you're leading the race, whether you're Frankie Muniz is battling, back in 30th right now, you're trying to make your truck better all day long.
Todd Bodine is our driver analyst. Todd, what are you seeing from Jordan Taylor so far?
Well, dang it, I was looking at the ice almost 8 seconds back, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the road course ace, right? This is the guy in the field we all talked about coming in here and maybe stealing this race from you guys. So I went and talked to his crew chief, Ryan Penn. Ryan, what's wrong? He said nothing. He said, this guy is just an endurance racer. This is what he does. His lap times have been the same almost every single lap. Within a tenth of a second. That's incredible around this racetrack. So no issues, 8 seconds back with just cruising along.
You did tell him how fast these races go by, though, right? We're already 22 laps into a 100-lap race. Corey Heim continues to lead, 4.9 seconds over Lane Briggs. We're going to step aside, but you won't miss the thing. We're going Fox side by side.
Well, alright, so this first stage has been pretty clean so far. Nothing too crazy. Love to see it.
Check it out there.
That's why I never leave home without a photo of the little ones.
Great look for my husband. Lucky rabbit's foot.
Lucky Rabbit and Scoot. It's Swedish. That's a whole ride. Named Scoot.
Well, there's really no need for a Lucky Charm when you ride.
Now when America's #1 motorcycle insurance got your back. We're just gonna ignore the fact that Cole has a rabbit. Named Scoot.
So, you like NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Here's some Toyota legends you can get behind. Meet Tyler Reddick. Crushed it in Xfinity Series and now he's here. Basically the Cinderella story if Cinderella drove 200 miles per hour. Then there's John Hunter Nemechek. New kid on the block. All gas, no brakes. Oh, and Denny Hamilton. Ever heard of Daytona? He's won it 3 times. No big deal. We have a lot of drivers. All legends. You pick. You in? Put the one.
Yeah, a busy work week, that's for sure. Yeah, the race there's not much happening, so yeah, that's why I'm not saying much.
What's next?
I'm usually a quiet fellow most of the time. It's just how I am. Yeah, just taking it easy this week. And also catching trains in the hot weather too. It also can be debilitating in its own ways, but it's just how it is.
It's Baseball Night in America tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox. Welcome to Truck Country, where sweat becomes fuel, bumpers become bruisers, and pedals become pedestals. Where a future is ready, one lap at a time, burn into history. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Our leader, Corey High, working his way around the lap traffic. He's already gotten around two of them, including one of his teammates, Tony Breidinger.
That's the first truck he's seen in front of him all day, Trevor. That's to feel a little bit weird as he tries to work over Brandon Muniz down in the Big Bend.
Well, Michael, as these tires have gotten hot and worn out, the lap times have slowed down tremendously. It was 2 to 3 seconds when we saw in practice.
Yep.
So now that delta from the leader to those 30th place trucks is not very big. It's within a second, so it's going to get tough for him to pass. Even a truck that's not, in the top 5 or top 10, it's going to be hard and it's narrow here. So he's going to be very patient as he works through these trucks.
Nice pass. Gets around. Frankie Muniz puts him one half down.
Frankie just watches that 11 truck shoot across the uphill turn there.
See what Corey High has done this season. 914 laps and counting. It's incredible what he's done. He's led every lap so far today, all 25.
Yeah, I'm just used to the Atlanta Motor Speedway name.
And stage 1 is at lap 35.
Think about the types of racetracks we've been on so far this season. We've seen super speedways, we've seen short tracks, we've seen racetrack revivals like Rockingham and North Wilkesboro, intermediate road courses. He's been able to lead on every single one of those in multiple laps. That's not off of pit strategy. It's not off of staying out under caution. Like, he's legitimately that fast on every type of racetrack.
Connor Rozak in the 81 running 7th now, and a great run a week ago, finished 6th. What are you hearing so far, Josh?
Well, Jamie, talk about drivers that excel on road courses. Connor Rozak is on that short list of the Truck Series regulars. I talked to him about that, knowing that there are 2 road courses left in the regular season, and he said, look, there is pressure on me to perform and win one of these races, whether it's this one or Watkins Glen. But he said, I enjoy the pressure. He came over the radio a little while ago saying he likes the truck that team built, and despite running right now in 7th position, he is one of the fastest trucks on the track. It's all about track position. He's going to look to get that, but look for the 81 to be strong today.
Well, he's the fastest of the McAnally Hildeman Racing 4 trucks out there. Somebody touched the dirt there, made a mess coming out of turn 7.
Well, we're 8 laps until the stage here, and I'm really curious to see who can make the right adjustments. We talked about the drivers and their ability to adapt, but now the crew chiefs are going to have a chance to make the truck better for their drivers when we get to that stage. Feedback is going to be so crucial. I think we're seeing drivers like Jordan Taylor, Rick Cruz, that have road course experience, start to maximize their trucks to the fullest extent, and they see that 34-11 are a little bit better. Where is that at? How do you make it better, Michael?
And a young man like Cade Honeycutt, you think of him as a short track racer. He's trying to figure all this thing, all those questions you just asked me, Trevor, he's trying to figure that out on the fly. And what a job he does week in and week out, maintaining that type of speed. Rick Cruz, another young racer that is a road race ace. It's really cool to see these 2 worlds come together here at Lime Rock Park.
Rick Cruz, a 17-year-old from Hickory, North Carolina. He didn't start racing so young. He's probably been racing since he was 4. I know he's racing Trans Am cars at 14, and he's coming up through that pipeline, just getting it done. Cruz running 4.
Yeah, that blue truck is bouncing a lot. I don't know if you saw that there on that shock in turn 1, but it looks like they have a lot of control in that right front shock. Something just looks a little bit unstable for you. You see it there, it's the curve. You want that truck to recover when you go over a curve, and this is not doing that. I don't think to his liking right now.
When they come down pit road, what kind of adjustments can they do, if anything, to help that?
Well, this is a little different this weekend, right, Jamie? You have a controlled break that we will have for 3 minutes. It's not going to be our typical pit stops. This is a standalone event for the Truck Series. They are away from the Cup and the Xfinity Series this weekend. So NASCAR decided, let's make these uncompetitive. We will come down, you won't lose your position. So in that 3 minutes, you have way more time than you would typically have in a 16-second pit stop to work on maybe shocks, maybe work on some rebound or some compression, some little things that might help the ride quality of that truck.
Those engineers on the pit box, Jamie, are just wearing those computers out out right now asking a question. What's the tendencies? What can we do if this is a scenario our truck's faced with? And Britt's done a great job all day long. I know, Trevor, you've been in touch with him about what his truck's doing, what his challenges are, and that's exactly what he's dealing with, a bouncing truck.
There was a battle for Chandler Smith with himself. He was sideways coming off of turn 2.
Battle for 7th with Raja Carew.
Taylor's got a lot of speed here. Started off practice this morning a little bit slow. I was worried about him, but man, they regrouped. He's faster right now than Raj in that 7th position.
Chandler Smith, one of the guys used to race in the truck series, did not like road course racing at all until he went to Joe Gibbs Racing. Something clicked for him. Now he's with a different team this year, and he's embracing. I think you have to have a good attitude, or you're going to beat yourself if you show up and say, I hate this.
Absolutely. And something I'm seeing even more now, Michael, is these drivers are learning how to pace this next 35-lap run, because we are 4.5 seconds slower than the pace that they qualified at. That is tremendous for fall off at a 1.5-mile track. I think some of these drivers, like we saw Taylor Smith and now Jake Garcia, they might have gone out like a rocket, but now this truck is ill-handling, sliding around. You see Ben Rhodes and Matt Craftsman right behind him there trying to figure out their trucks as well. So maybe there's some pacing involved. Maybe I do need to save my brakes and save my tires a little more this next run.
A couple of 3 teammates here doing battle, and a couple of those teammates are champions of this sport. So Jake's doing a good job of leading Ben Rhodes and Matt Craftsman as they race inside the top 20. But I'm telling you guys, how competitive are they? You would expect any one of those trucks to be leading this thing. That's how deep the deal is here in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Beautiful looking Thor Sport trucks. And they're all over Andres Perez, Spire driver.
Here's the big hop off that uphill turn 5.
Love hearing that.
I didn't see her. Hear those motors scream. Woo! That feels.
Just put your hands in the air, Michael, if we would have moved that like a roller coaster.
Oh, I am on a roller coaster. That's fine.
I did the woo for you that time. I feel like every time we look at that, we get some sound effects.
Look at this battle. Spencer Boyd, we know he had a problem early. Now he's all over. Going forward, we're trying to see if he can hold off Spencer. Here comes Jordan Taylor. Makes the pass to put these guys in his rear view.
Jordan Taylor right there running 3rd.
Cruz now in that brand new low right behind Jordan Taylor. He's closed that gap to within a 10th. Trying to get mindful of this traffic here. That's big for Brett to be on the inside.
Ready to go in stage 1.
There you go. The big man takes that inside road.
Jordan Taylor, so used to running around other cars, multiple series running in the sports car world.
Multiple speeds too. There's different engines and different rules for different cars. You got to figure all that out. Jordan's doing a nice job here as he battles in the field.
You see Brent right there with him within a truck lead now. It's one thing to catch someone, but now to make this pass. We saw the one truck struggle in turn 7, which we said is a very important corner in qualifying. Went off the track a couple times there.
Coming out of the downhill, turn 7. 2 laps to go in stage number 1.
2 to go in stage 1.
How cool do you think it is for Brent Cruz? They look out the windshield and see family with Jordan Taylor, one of the best road racers in the world. He's right on the tip.
And I look at Brent and think about a Connor Phillips, right? They just storm onto the scene at 17, 18 years old and start winning races. Where did that come from? What have they been doing? And I talked to Brent about that. He said, him and Connor have grown up together. They've raced together so much. He's about a year younger, but was always kind of right behind Connor in their progression. So I would definitely look to him to be this good on these road courses.
And this is a stepping stone development series. You use the Market Menards into the Truck Series, Xfinity, to get to Sunday racing. Connor Phillips, you just mentioned him doing a fantastic job. Won the race last week in the Xfinity Series. But Connor still stays in touch with these guys like Brent Cruz. Gives them advice, helps them out. These guys want to be racing on Sundays.
All right. Final lap, stage 1.
Stage, do everything you can to keep 49 behind, but he's going to go right by turn 1 there.
Corey Heim, our leader, final lap of this stage.
It's qualified, so he started out back and has made a little bit of progress, but you can see he's got eaten up there by Corey Heim. Now he just hopes Corey doesn't go past someone else, so he can get a free pass.
And obviously, all these slack trucks in front, or slower trucks are trying to stay on the lead lap, but as soon as you cross that start-finish line,
Your mind instantly goes to, how can I take advantage of this next restart that'll come up after our break? All the lap times are within a half a second of each other after about 20 laps with these tires.
And there it is, the green and white checkered flag in the air for Corey Heim, who picks up his 13th stage.
All right.
2025.
Corey Heim, stage 1 winner.
He'll just slide that truck off that downhill turn and takes the green and white checker.
Lane Riggs second, Jordan Taylor, Brent Cruz, Mo Sack, Honeycutt, Chandler Smith, Roger Crew, Ty Majeski, Thomas Annunziata, your top 10.
What causes Kirk? Is it Graves' disease or someone that talked to well?
I got somebody for that.
I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that. I got somebody for Crohn's disease.
There's hope for the estimated 1 in 10 men who may have Crohn's disease or PD. A urology specialist who treats PD can help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Find somebody today at GoGetSomebody.com.
You love our legendary subs, so you'll love our legendary new Doritos football nachos. Doritos and Subway, two legends come together to...
Legends eating legends. Am I right?
Yes, thank you, Marshawn. Doritos football nachos, just $5, only at Subway. Slow it down, honey.
A new driver. You need new insurance. Zebra compares over 100 insurance companies to find savings no one else can. Up to $400 a year. Oh, look, it's my stop. The Zebra. We do the searching, you do the saving. It's the most fun you'll have at the Craftsman Balls, only July 7th on Fox.
There's a flex alert, and Team California is playing it cool.
Pretty cool in the 4-4 p.m. That's cool.
But can they turn it up in the fourth?
Man, they're going crazy.
Another big win for Team California.
The power is out.
With over 200 million drivers, you've done more than make Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand. Your purchases have enabled Ford and Ford dealers to donate billions to help build and rebuild communities. This June, buy a Ford vehicle and help celebrate an important additional donation to these causes. That's Ford building together. Ford Motor Company, from America, for America. Visit your Ford dealer, get employee pricing, and help support a donation for your community.
Hello?
Why don't we shoot baskets with paper balls? For the same reason we play Scratch, the California Lottery. Because when you play, you make your day.
Are we stranded? We're running out of water. I got AAA.
When you're at AAA,
The best way to turn real time into playtime.
Fox 40 Plus, available now on Roku, Fire, and Apple TV.
Alex Blow continued his legendary season, and Bulldog Joseph Newgarden, Carol Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, and the rest of the pack defeated the Park Series rollers in Mid-Ohio, July 6th on Fox. Another little 4th of July weekend racing action. Looking forward to that. For our race analyst, he's been kind of all over the place. Talk was on track just earlier today to break down some key points of this racetrack.
One of the things that makes Flying Rock Park one of the most unique racetracks in our country is the hill. We hear people talk about it, and the drivers talk about the hill. This is the hill. The drivers exit turn 5 and immediately start climbing the hill. But the tricky part is, if you don't line the truck up properly, you come over this hill, and when the truck lands, you can run right straight off into the dirt and the grass. You've probably seen some guys do that already. And when you come up over the hill, if you run wide open, the truck as fast as it'll go, the front tires come up over this hill, and they get right off the ground. You might have seen some of that also. But when they come over the hill and it lands, the rear tires get light, and they start spinning. So the drivers have to modulate the throttle up over this hill to not make the truck get out of control. And a lot of times it will get off in the grass and spin the tires. So this is You say it's only a hill, but it's not just only a hill. It's really tricky, and every time the drivers are exiting turn 5, they're working their tails off when they get up over here.
This part of the track has been so entertaining.
Do your kids like to get their belly taken in the car? Like you go over a hill and you know, fix your belly. That's what this is. Every lap.
And that hole right there beside the road that you talked about, Trevor, but you get deeper and deeper as these guys go through there and turn that dirt up. So more and more difficult as the laps pass by.
So the truckers make their way down pit road, and as Trevor mentioned, as a R55 stops, no competitive advantage. Now, every truck will pull into their box. Nobody can go over the wall until NASCAR gives them the go-ahead.
And the trucks could stay on the track here if they wanted to. They don't have to pit. You would obviously gain an advantage then, but if you come to pit road, you'll be frozen. And so that's kind of what we're going to see here with the tire fall off, the fuel situation. Everybody should, I would expect, be on pit road condition.
And this is what the crew chiefs and the engineers go to work, trying to figure out what you're going to do to be able to run down 49. Got a report from pit road that 40 doesn't want anything. He likes the structure just like it is. But if you're Jordan Taylor, you're Lane Riggs, you know you've got to make an adjustment. You've got to do something to try to take this and cut the advantage that time has away.
This is not what we typically see. Everybody's kind of still. Nothing's moving on pit road. They haven't been given a go-ahead to all jump over and service these trucks. But when they do, Taylor, you're there to call the action.
Yeah, Jamie, well, Jordan Taylor, P3 in that stage, actually told me he had a little bit of nerves going into this racing as it's his first time in a truck, but his feedback to the team was just still searching for overall grip on that 7. He did request an air pressure adjustment. For Raja Karut in the 71, he told me he really feels like this team has hit a good stride since they won at Nashville a couple of weeks ago. He said he needs lateral grip and drive off in 1 and 2. Also, his air motors detached, so they are attaching that for Raja Karut. Josh.
Corey Heim has led every single lap of this race so far. He feels really good, as Mikey said, about that truck right now. 15-stage win of the season. He said if he was losing grip towards the end of the run, that's just a matter of getting him some tires. We'll see how things shake out in this next stage for Corey Heim as far as the 34 of Lane Riggs. He said he was tightening the left-handers, but he's getting up there, and he said he needs to drive off and all the right handers. So really making a good pressure on the right adjustments and help out the 34. Give him something to try to back down to that.
Plenty of time to make these needed adjustments for all these drivers. Well, last week, NASCAR lost one of its own, Larry McClure, a NASCAR Cup owner from 1983 to 2009, headquartered in Evanston, Virginia. 14 Cup wins to his credit, including 3 Daytona 500 victories. Some of his drivers included A.J. Foyt, Ernie Irvan, Mark Martin, and Sterling Marlin. Larry McClure was 81 years old.
Your mental health is better, but having uncontrollable body movements called TD, total dyskinesia, can feel embarrassing.
I asked my doctor about treating my TB with
Ingrezza. Number 1 prescribed Ingrezza is clinically proven to treat TD, quickly reducing TD movements by greater than 5 times in 2 weeks. 98% of people were still satisfied with Ingrezza after 2 years, and you can keep taking most mental health meds.
Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior, mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. Don't take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden potentially fatal swallowing times, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heartburn problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating a car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems sleeping, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, trouble moving or balance or occur.
paper control starts with asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Oh yeah, as y'all probably heard this past week or two, Charlie Henderson, the owner of Henderson Motorsports, the team that Kligerman drives from the Truck Series, passed away. Then a few days ago, Larry McClure, the other half of Morgan McClure Motorsports, also passed away. So rest in peace to them. Keep their families in thoughts and prayers.
No fear, just Fox. Say, show me at CarMax.com.
Now this is how I put the summer under the lights, surrounded by history, like a place where legends are made. This isn't just a race, it's a moment of truth. Their last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, explode lights the views. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
This is Alex Blow, a conquistador of concrete from the start. Alex is so fast he does his taxes January 1st. He speed reads 2 novels before noon. He's Spanish with a French kiss on the first date. Alex has traveled the world. Here are his favorite places: Portland, Detroit, Monterey, Portland again, and rent-free in 32 drivers' heads. This is the front of his car, but if you race him, you'll just see the back. This is 3-time IndyCar champ Alex Blow. Welcome to the fastest racing hour.
Welcome to Truck Country. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Coming up later today on FS2's Arc and Art Series takes to the track here at Lime Rock. Action starts at 4 Eastern, and then tonight the Cup Series is under the lights at 7 Eastern on TNT. Wish our friends who are part of that broadcast for the next 5 weeks the best of luck. Back here at Lime Rock Park, stage 1 is in the books. Corey Heim led all
right, the yellow is back out.
The points there, got 10, all the way down to Thomas and Fiata. He's not a regular in this series, so he doesn't get those points.
No points for you.
Otherwise, he'd take home 1.
What a
Nice mix there, huh?
performance for Corey Heim. We talked about our truck regulars give the advantage at the beginning of this race to the truckers, taking down 3rd and 4th there, the road course ringers that were brought to town.
Well, to nobody's surprise, Corey, I'm happy with the truck, no adjustments, but I think pretty much everybody else behind him made some adjustments there.
Yeah, on that points, just real quick, Ty Majeski, 2 points. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're 19 points above the line, every point's going to matter here in these next few races before the playoffs start. Those adjustments, Jamie, we've heard all weekend a lot of drivers complaining about the left-hander. But Michael, I would have to imagine the crew chief say, you got to deal with the left-hander because there's only one. We got 6 right-handers.
And that's when you struggle they're all struggling as we're listening to the radios for grip up off, trying to get the gas down. Remember you talked about earlier, modulating the throttle, how you got to manage how much power you put into those rear tires. And everybody at sea was struggling with that.
Absolutely. And as those last clicked off, we saw that issue get worse and worse and worse. So we heard Brian Patty talk about Jordan Taylor being an endurance racer. And Jamie, you said, does he know how short these are? That's a real thing. You have to figure out how hard can I go and what's going to abuse the tires to the point I have nothing left at the end of the run.
Take a look at the track map once again, remind people what they're dealing with.
You talked about the one left-hander. Turn 3, let's figure that one out because we got to go right a lot of times. And we saw Papadano over on the uphill turn number 5 explains the challenges there. And then we've seen guys running off the road in the downhill turn number 7, how important it is to get good momentum through that part of the corner. Just an awesome racetrack, a lot of fun to cover.
Absolutely, Michael. And, you have those challenges in those faster corners, but turn 1 is really the only braking zone where we've seen people have walk-up, where they're using max pressure. How do we get into that pedal after that ball stands close to the straightaway?
Well, Todd, that was the first pit stop of the day. What'd you see on the tires there?
Well, first I want to give an attaboy to Caden Huntington. This is his first road course race ever in anything. He qualified 6th, and he's running 6th, doing a great job. But he came in for a pit stop, gets that tire changed. I've never seen this before in my life. This tire delaminated. This is the actual rubber of the tire. The part that hits the racetrack, this is the coating underneath, is what the carcass was called, the carcass. And the whole spot of rubber came right off, and there's another one starting here. So he was running 6, running decent lap times. I told his crew chief Phil, when he get 4 good tires, he might go to the front. Jamie?
Good point.
I don't think that would surprise anyone. We've watched this young man. What a tremendous talent he is. So much ahead of him in his future with what he's done in a short period of time.
Peyton Honeycutt is in the 45 truck. We'll restart 6th. As we're getting ready for our first restart of the day, Corey Heim on the inside of the 11 truck, Blaine Riggs on the outside with the 34. Notice to know it's a little bit closer than the initial start.
All right, here we go, back to green.
Obviously, going to try to dive them in, but Corey's got the advantage on the inside.
Through Big Ben.
On tire smoke a little further back in the field. Oh, we got one off track as well. Corey's able to squeeze by Lane Riggs on the turn 2.
Everybody keeps it straight.
Oh, big chunk of dirt coming up there. That was Jake Garcia, I think, that did that. Jerem nearly out of room there.
Right on the edge of that.
3 wide there.
Corey Hahn now with the advantage. Gets around Lane Riggs. Jordan Taylor back there. Third. Connor Bozak moving his way slowly but surely up, guys.
Got that right.
Jerem looks to the inside of Grant Endinger into turn 6. That curving there, you want to stay off that. It's very aggressive. If you climb up on it, wasn't able to make the move.
Brent Cruz getting really aggressive there. Makes his move forward.
One of those Tricon trucks, right? Right
30 to go.
A couple of LiUNA trucks there. The Napa truck for Daniel Henry. Racing along with Tyler Abel. LiUNA truck.
Montez Perez, super fast all weekend. We see him on the inside, trying to catch Daniel Henry as well. Probably going to be hung up on the outside through turn 3. Not ideal. Let's see if he can stay in the right position for turn 4.
56 is Cam Waters from Australia. Checking out the NASCAR scene here in America.
From supercars over there, just like SVG that we see on track here and making his third start in the truck.
3 wins in the supercar division. We know how tough that is. Great job by this young man.
Scott McLaughlin came over to the States from the Supercar Series. He's racing in the IndyCar Series.
Trucks are running just outside the top 15. It's so hard to pass, Trevor. We're seeing guys run basically the same speed, but they just can't get anywhere.
Yeah, those restarts are kind of everything to get 1, 2 positions. You've seen our biggest movers are only up 2 positions, so it's just tooth and nail. As you see Peyton Honeycutt, I'm shocked, Michael, to hear Paco Don say, never been on a road course in anything. We talked about drivers who haven't been here, but they at least run somewhere. So for Peyton Honeycutt to be in the top 5 right now, I'm not worried about that.
Well, we don't test in this series, so if you're kind of new, you're watching the truck series for the first time, these kids don't get to go out and run trucks and get a bunch of laps. They had a practice session yesterday. They had a 20-minute qualifying session this morning, and then here you go.
What is it about Caden? You do this every week, Michael, but I feel like he gets overlooked a little bit for the speed that he's had these mile-and-a-halfs and, just doing a great job.
He hasn't been overlooked by
Not by you,
not me or Kevin Harvick. Kevin was the one that clued me in on him at the start of the season. He said, watch this young man. He's an extremely talented young short track racer. And then as soon as you see him get on the big tracks, he can do that. Like you said, no road course experience. Here we are talking about him that's on the top 5. He's just special. There's some guys that come along every now and then and they get your attention right off the bat. And Josh,
No, not much.
Back out, maybe.
Yeah, you guys talked about the fact that he'd never been on a road course before. Well, it helps when you have a teammate in Ross Chastain who comes down from the Cup Series to race in the Truck Series from time to time, and you can pick his brain about things. And that's exactly what Caden did before.
Well, we're going to try and do everything in our power to make sure that we don't let 11 truck just run away with the lead. Top 2 have pretty much broken away at this point.
He is still just points above the cut line, so he knows whether he's good or not at road course racing. He's the figure it out fast if he wants to make his way into the playoffs.
He finished third 2 of the last 4 races. That has helped his points position. But what Josh just said, 45 points to the good coming into this race.
And Caden obviously good at understated points. He was the 2024 Cars Tour champion last year. Kevin Harvick at Dale Jr. Series on the short tracks.
Oh, yeah, I remember Carlos Huertas.
Early in the race, but now he's up to 7th position, moved a couple heads forward, a couple of spots forward from where he fell to. Looks like that 98 truck's coming alive now.
So we saw Brent Cruz was pushing Grant Enfinger, but he's falling back. He's in 11th right now, trying to make up some ground here.
Yeah, lost 7 spots on that restart. Didn't quite see where he got moved or pushed out. He was 4th, so we knew he was on the outside. We saw a few trucks hit the dirt there with Stuart Friesen and Jake Garcia. So could have just been pushed wide by not having that leverage in turn 1.
And Enfinger, after that off-road excursion qualifying, steady and solid here in the race.
Caitlin Grant's up to top 10. He's done a great job.
Yeah, Michael, he certainly is. And he told me earlier that he's really focused on these road courses. It's been a big priority for him because they've been a struggle point for him over the years. So he said, I honed in on this particular craft, done year-long efforts versus starting preparation a month or so prior to the event. But Grant Enfinger is one of the mainstays, of course, in this truck series, telling me he just loves the trucks and being able to participate in a series that feels like a true grassroots racer series that is still engineering supported, of course, with the ability to build their own bodies.
Didn't miss much. It's been pretty tame so far. Some people are saying it's underwhelming, but I mean, at least we can hope that this race won't turn into a crash fest at some
Talk about the focus. He only has one top 10 road course finish in 12 starts, so he knows it needs to have some attention. But I talked to him this morning after his off-road excursion. He said, "Damn driver," that was his comment about himself. So you're trying to get every bit of speed you can get, and sometimes you step over that line.
Well, this shows here how important, again, back to those restarts it is, because Greg Cruz, we just talked about, running third, fourth, really fast, and now he's behind Grant. Cannot make the progress that he needs to make. Watching this battle here, one of our McNally Nobleman trucks in the frame, the Ford Sport truck, 66, Cam Waters, diving to the inside of Tyler Ingram into turn one.
Battle for 14. Cam Waters trying to take it from Tyler Ingram. Can he do it as they work their way up to the left-hander?
Got the advantage, but he's going to be on the outside here. I think he's got it.
Cam Waters, 2 races in the truck series, both on ovals, but this is his thing. Running on road course, and he does it, Michael. Moves up 1 spot. Cam Waters to 14.
Waters 14. Good.
Sometimes you look in your mirror, there's somebody trying to dog you.
Yeah, and this is frustrating. I ran here, 18 years ago in the K&N series, and you would catch someone an inch at a time. You get right behind them, you make one mistake, and you lose 5 feet. You got to restart. Tell yourself mentally, I just got to gain that little bit. Don't overdo
Damn,
it.
all the dust
Try to
on
gain
you.
Harley, you end up making a mistake here at Black Rock.
Andres Perez qualified in the top 10. Great speed in that 77 truck right there. Have a lot of pressure from the 99 at Bend Road.
And I like what Ben did there, Jamie. He knew that he could not get side by side with Andres, but his thought was, I'm going to dive to the inside. Maybe he'll overdrive it, make a mistake, slide up the racetrack. Andres was very disciplined not to do that. But sometimes when you cannot get that position, you just want to get a look into their mirror a little bit, Michael.
That's right, looking in the mirror is a bit hard of making sure you position yourself where you don't get past in some of these corners, but also focusing out that windshield. That's something that's really important and hard to do for young racers. You know, you got a guy hounding you. You've got to check out what he's doing to see if you can't hold him off. So pretty much a balance between forward and back.
22 laps to go here in stage number 2. So much action early. I think we're going to see a little bit more. Stay with us.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance, the attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado, because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
What causes current disease disease or someone that I talked to earlier?
I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that.
You got somebody for Crohn's disease. There's hope for the estimated 1 in 10 men who may have Crohn's disease, or PD. A urology specialist who treats PD can help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Find somebody today. GoGetSomebody.com.
Look at that.
I haven't caught any yet. I'll probably catch some once this race is over.
Chips and Fuego fries inspired by Takis. So Takis fans, you're welcome. And new Takis fans, good luck. For an intense new take on Takis, got LiUNA's.
Not feeling the grays but don't want color? Try Just for Men Control GX Spray Reducing Shampoo. Just shampoo like you do to gradually reduce grays. Now boosted with keratin. Hair looks 2 times thicker to keep you looking your best. Control GX shampoo.
Shady Rays sunglasses. Break them or lose them. Or replace them. Easy as that.
I was gonna need these Shady Rays type. Let's get him another pair, fast.
What? Shady Rays. Eyewear that has your back.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, live from Lime Rock Park. Jamie Little, Michael Waltrip, Trevor Bain with you, Todd Bodine, Josh Spence, and Caitlin Lindsay on pit road, bringing you all of the action. But that man, Corey Heim, coming out to pass a truck for position all day. He has led every lap. And there's the gap back to second place, Lane Riggs, Jordan Taylor in third.
On a motorcycle, another great job, strong at Pocono. Expected him to be good here. He's running the fourth position. Rick Cruz, he was in the top 5 before that last restart. Now he got shuffled back, but man, this has been a Corey Heim clinic.
Talking about fun
We're
road track,
halfway.
John's been doing up to 4 times.
Yeah, Jamie's kind of doing a great job. You know, he's one of our regulars who actually has a lot of road course experience. We've talked about that. And I just spoke with his crew team, playing great crew.
Yeah, I saw the video last night on X.
He said they can kind of run on the restart, but the long run speed is there. And he gave 100% of the credit to Connor. He said this kid understands how to save his tires, not burn them off the first 10 laps of the run, so that it keeps running at the end. Their lap times or their fall off is less than the leaders as the run goes. So Connor doing a great job using that road course experience to his advantage. And
And the 26-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, who's been racing about 8 years. So he's had to learn quickly, figuring out the ovals. But when he comes back here, this is his comfort zone, and he's showing it today.
I don't think I can have much comfort in this racetrack, though. As winding and twisty as it is, and all the action is going on, not only with your hands driving, but also driving with your feet, moving those brakes, particularly squeezing the gas tank. So much going on.
Carlos Veneziano, he's up 4 spots since the start of this race. Has been inching forward, as you mentioned earlier. Really somebody we thought could contend to maybe win this race. He has that much experience here at Lime Rock and in road courses in general.
First met Thomas Veneziano in the Arkham and Art Series, done a handful of those. He's run in the Xfinity Series 11 times. Doing double duty today, and I think the track time is helping. He's on pole for the Arkham and Arts race coming up later today.
And that's unique, right? Maybe a lot of drivers want to run double duty so they can run the ARCA race, get laps, and then run the truck race. But here at Lime Rock, the schedule is actually flipped. You have truck drivers getting experience for the ARCA race later on.
Got 3 guys doing double duty. There you can see Rick Cruz, Thomas Veneziano, and Dale Porterly.
How about Dale, 64-year-old from Massachusetts?
Still on the lead lap is Dale Porterly. Fun to see him get to do what he loves to do. He's been driving a driving machine his whole life. He's still at 64 years old, out there getting it done.
Working lap 55 here of 100 laps.
Fastest truck on the track last lap. Surprise news break. It was 49. So he's just continuing to lay down lap after lap. He stretches his lead out to about 5 seconds now over Lenny Riggs. Lane was able to keep pace with him there for 6-8 laps. But now, look at that safe-like truck just perfectly onto the front straightaway.
I love watching this. You know, if we take a lap around with Corey Hunt, you're going to see how controlled and how precise he is with every move that he makes with this truck. Never getting offline, never really sliding as you watch him go through 1 and 2. He gets to both of those curves. Now he's going to track out wide off the 2, mark it out for turn 3 a little bit. Watch how mighty he he is for here. He's right to the curb.
Well, Nick Sanchez was our first time winner in the Xfinity Series. So who knows? But after his second place run in Mexico, I think Taylor Gray will most likely be the next one. It's either that or Sheldon Creed, because or someone like Ryan Sieg could surprise. Oh yeah, Christian Eckes, can't forget about him. But as of late, Taylor Gray's been the one. I mean, oh yeah, Taylor Gray showed speed in Taylor Gray had speed in the Xfinity race last night. So yeah, he's had like 2 weeks of 2 races or so in which he's had speed to compete up at the front.
Corey has just over a 4-second lead. Lane Briggs, Jordan Taylor, Connor Mozak, and Kate Honeycutt at your top 5.
Well, we've talked about the quarterback a lot, right? These crew chiefs, Scott Ciminelli on that team. Being able to listen for you, the tone of his voice to get those trucks down in as we listen into Lane Briggs managing that problem.
He runs good at Pocono, like Lane did. You gotta expect you're gonna be good on a road course. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of road racing experience, but you know, it takes sort of the same type of skill sets to get it done at the tricky time. But see Lane working those gears, and then Jordan Taylor, Michael Jordan. Taylor and Jordan, that's the Randall.
Or else we call him
Rodney
Sandstorm. His alter ego, the Jeff Gordon fan. Follow him on social media. This guy has a heck of a personality. Jordan Taylor, but he's so fast.
Well, as of today, we've now officially seen at least one first-time winner in all 3 of NASCAR's top 3 series this year. In Cup, we had Josh Berry. In Trucks, we had Daniel Hemrick. And for Xfinity, we had Nick Sanchez last night. That's something I forgot to note last night as well. Oh, yeah. Another driver that showed... Yeah. Yeah. Carson Kvapil's another one, too, that could win.
I know, he's a big star. He's a big star. Nice to see you. This is Jeff 20 years ago, right? I
think you should stay away from my daughter.
Thanks for coming by.
Oh, Michael, I think you're coming up. Literally thought that was a crazy fan.
Yeah, I think that was pretty funny TV, and Rodney's a great.
I remember that.
With all 3 egos.
Caitlin, what do you have on Jordan?
Yeah, guys, well, I had a chance to talk to Jordan earlier, and he told me he loves coming over to the NASCAR side of things, describing it as a very different world, of course, from what he's used to, with a more old-school feel. And he said, there's also a lot less meetings, which I really have enjoyed, but he believes this road course experience is definitely going to help him today. Describing this road course is a little bit more on the simple side, he said, with only 7 corners. But he said he's raced at LiUNA, of course, many times. Absolutely loves this venue. He said we refer to it as the bull ring of road courses, situated in a Coliseum style setting in the hills with all the fans around. He said, I just absolutely love this place, Jamie.
Well, I love when he made his Cup Series debut. He couldn't believe how physical these drivers got compared to his one-car road.
I think it's another road course. I'm not been after a Cup race on a road course, but there's what Trevor pointed out earlier. Not only are you using your hands, but back and forth, using your core strength, your feet, every part of you is a part of what has success here.
40 laps to go from Lion Rock Park. 49 continues to lead over Lane Briggs. So, what's next?
Craftsman. What you build, builds you. Working.
Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams. 2311 owned by these two, but this guy actually races for his team. And they both share the term, the team owned by this guy. 3 teams, 4 legends, all going after one cup. Now you're up to speed. Win.
New Swiffer Mop Deluxe is made for small spaces. The upgraded strip has 75% more scrubbing power. And with the new locking head, getting into tight spaces is simple. The all-new Swiffer Mop Deluxe, the mother of all cleans.
I was a little caught off guard by this partnership. Frankie's a big star, but he really does seem to get in the middle of things. Calls. Of course we're going to be able to take this case.
Hey,
not right now, man. Meetings.
this year has started off.
Everything, really.
It's crazy out there.
But really, super stoked to have him here.
Morgan and LiUNA, America's largest interlocker.
Travel. It's gone from being an adventure to a checklist. But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist. Or see Notre Dame with her. She helped your story, by the way. Don't just see it, please. Experience it.
To Haggerty, it's obvious. One of these cars is not like the others. It's harder to operate, but easier to enjoy. You use it less, but you love it more. And if something goes wrong, it's a lot harder to replace. It's not your everyday car, so don't pay more for everyday insurance. Pay a better price for better coverage from Haggerty. Quote today at Haggerty.com.
Tonight, it's Baseball Night in America on Fox. And two of the league's best face-off as Kyle Tucker leads the Cubs against Jose Altuve and the Astros. Or the Phillies take on the Braves. Check your local listings for the game in your area. That's tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox.
It's in on a month away from MLB at the Bristol Motor Speedway on Fox. It's going to be a crazy event.
August 2nd, you are promoting it in New York this week, Michael. That's going to be fun.
And then we're going to rip the field up at the Bristol Night Race.
Amazing what you can do at a racetrack. 7 laps to go here in stage number 2. Corey Heim continues to lead. Chandler Smith, haven't talked a whole lot about him. He's worked his way up to 5th, looking pretty solid here.
Nice job for Taylor. You see right in his rearview mirror, Casey Honeycutt. Taylor made that move.
And we saw Chandler sliding around at the end of that first stage. I'm noticing now the lap time off is a lot less this run. Like these drivers did learn, there's a limit. We saw the left rear on Kate Honeycutt's truck that came off with that big blister and delamination. So they realized we pushed it too hard that first 35 laps. We're going to back it down, make it last.
Josh, let's get an update on Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler Smith is one of our regulars who has 2 wins already on the season, back in the Truck Series for the second time in his career. That first stage, he struggled a little bit, especially in turns 1, 2, and 3. Told the team he needed more lateral, needed more drive off, so they made some adjustments to help him out. It seems to be working in that truck. And, you know, Jimmy, you talked about the fact that Chandler initially did not like road course racing until he switched in teams for him to figure out that he actually does like it and can excel at it. But I thought it was interesting when I talked to him yesterday. He told me I'm able to make up speed in the braking zone. Trevor, Mikey, that sounds a little backwards. Can you explain how you make up speed when you're braking on the other drivers?
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. And here at Lime Rock, we only have one big braking zone, which is right here where you see Chandler diving to the inside of the 62 truck into turn 1. That is the advantage of a experienced road racer, somebody like Jordan Taylor. When he called it a simple road course, that's what he's referring to. There's only one big brake spike that you're looking for in turn 1. Everywhere else is almost like an oval where you're trying to roll speed. You're using a little bit of brake, back to the throttle early. And so, yeah, for Chandler Smith, if he's good at braking zones, that's great. Bad news is there's only one big one.
Well, Josh mentioned the adjustments that the 38 team made to that truck, and certainly it's working. You got around Caden Honeycutt in that 45 truck that we've been talking about. And now it's teamed up again. Caden wants that spot back.
a bit early in the run after getting word that one of his tires delaminated and probably taking it easy, tips on it, maybe he'll come back to it as the run finishes off here. Only 4 to go in the stage.
We'll have another opportunity to come down pit road. Those non-competitive stops, we call them modified live pit stops, so they'll have plenty of time to talk, discuss what they think they need for the third and final stage. It's only 30 laps, guys. We're coming up on it quickly.
Love watching these guys work left and right, how much really out of there, letting that back end hang out.
He's up 5 spots now since the beginning of the race, past the 71 at Rock Group here recently. Now he's got some clean racetrack. We'll get to see what kind of lap times he can make up at the end of this run.
Really smooth race for this kid. Infrequent runs he gets in NASCAR, and doing a nice job here today. Now got a benchmark up there ahead of him, and Jordan Taylor in the 7 truck, his teammate, knowing that there's a lot of speed with those fire trucks today.
He has a teammate just behind him, and Raja Karut there, going down the top 10 like he has all race long. Guys, I can't get over how perfect the weather is. 2 days ago it was 100 degrees. I mean, this whole country has been sweltering, and all of a sudden the cold front comes through and we're racing in mid 70s. And oh, by the way, we're supposed to have a bunch of rain today, and thankfully that looked on out, and it's just been picture perfect.
That's right. Watching these trucks cut through the Connecticut countryside, it's just been a real joy here today.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, colleague racing has been strong. Has been good on road course as well. They were last year they definitely were, especially with AJ Allmendinger SVG driving for them. I mean, albeit AJ's only win last year came on a oval rather than a road course, but that doesn't change the fact that Allmendinger's won on road courses in years past.
Yeah, Water didn't hesitate jumping up over that curve, did he? He didn't turn
Yeah, all of it. So, but after you get to turn 6, where you picked up Thomas Annunziata a little bit ago, man, that curve you gotta stay off of. It is aggressive. Turn 2 curve.
Josh Malicki in the 44 trying to hold off Jake Garcia in the 13.
Battle for the 18th position. Looks like Jake's a little quicker right now than Malicki.
Garcia thinking about those points that he wants. The final lap of stage number 2.
Yep. This will be the first Cup Series live stream in a few weeks. Final lap, stage 2.
There's our leader, Corey Heim. Just done everything perfect today.
No, we talked about time, but this time is in a different zip code. This is crazy, the dominant
34 truck.
He won the last 2 road course races. Comes out of the final corner. You'll see the green and white flag in the air. Unbelievable. Fifth time this season, Heim has swept both stages. Right
Corey
there,
Heim
officially
sweeps the
picks up his
stages.
14th stage win of the year.
And his 5th stage 2 win in a row. I mean, just unprecedented. It never has happened before in the Cup Series.
The only guy to lead this historic racetrack, first time here. Will it be Heim time? We'll find out. 1 stage remaining.
At Ford, 80% of the vehicles we sell in America are assembled in America.
Well, what happened if other car companies did the same?
If they were like us, you'd have up to 15 new plants.
Assembling nearly 4 million vehicles per year.
If they were like us, they would have said no to the taxpayer bailout and added thousands of American jobs. Nobody's committed to America like Ford is.
And who benefits from that? You do.
Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. The sweet scent of a honeymoon in Fiji. Moisturize with vitamin B3.
You better not be using all the Old Spice.
Oh, can you get my body?
Not feeling the grays but don't want to color? Try Just for Men Control GX Spray Reducing Shampoo. Just shampoo like you do to practically reduce grays. Now boost with Carrots. Carol's 2-time sticker to keep you looking your best. Control GX shampoo.
Your mental health is better. But having uncontrollable body movements called TD, total dyskinesia, can feel embarrassing.
I asked my doctor about treating my TD with
Ingrezza. Number one prescribed Ingrezza is clinically proven to treat TD, quickly reducing TD movements by greater than 5 times in 2 weeks. 98% of people were still satisfied with Ingrezza after 2 years, and you can keep taking most mental health meds.
Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior, mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. Don't take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden, potentially fatal swelling in eyes, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heart rhythm problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating a car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, trouble with moving or balance may occur.
taking control starts with asking your doctor about
Yes, I have been. Yes, Mom. I have been clean.
It was one of those books that smelled bad, but in a good way, you know? Nope. You go without me. The owner and I aren't on speaking terms. Apparently the refills are limited. Okay. It's not okay.
Bryson, Kepka, Rom, Phil, and DJ, some of the biggest names in golf are headed for a Texas shootout. It's Live Golf Dallas. Catch coverage round 2. It's coming up next right here on Fox.
Harold Barner III, my buddy from Gastonia, North Carolina. He's in contention here, so Live Golf Spud on Fox.
They have a good time. It's a big party.
Yes,
Those
it is.
events. It's been a big party today. Same 30,000 fans turned out. No grandstands, all just kind of camped out with their chairs and blankets. As you see the drivers make their way down pit road, they'll come to a stop. Nobody can work on the trucks until every truck comes to a stop and NASCAR gives them the go-ahead. These are modified live stops. Looks a lot different than what we see typically.
How beautiful is that, though? Countryside covered up with NASCAR fans watching these trucks compete here. Waving at us. Hello, everybody.
They've seen so many different forms of racing up here, but to see NASCAR trucks, this is the first time that this truck series has ever raced in this state. So I'd love to see new fans coming out, maybe that don't know about NASCAR, checking it out for the first time.
You know, when I went to the Northeast for the first time in NASCAR, I went to New Hampshire, and I was like, wow, there's NASCAR fans up here too. You know, they're everywhere. We actually raced here at Lime Rock and raced at Thompson in Connecticut and all over the Northeast, and just the fans love it, you know, and I think this is great that they're getting to see NASCAR trucks on their home track.
I love it. They have jackets this morning. Now they're in their t-shirts, and they have officially been given the go-ahead 3 minutes to work on the trucks, Caitlin.
Yeah, taking a look at the 7th truck of Jordan Taylor, P3 in both stages so far, just listening into his radio. He said he felt a bit touch better since those last pit stops, but he said I lost a little bit of front grip, but I gained on rear grip with the last change. So that's the update on the 7th. Josh?
Over the 34 of Lane Riggs said he was tight in 1 and 2 in that transition. The 3 and 4 just upset the nose of that truck.
Reminds me of the ARCA series and how they come into their all come down for their stop during the breaks at the halfway point.
So he wants more of that air pressure adjustment, hoping it helps him out his next run. As far as the 11 of Corey Himes, what a dominant run. 71 laps led. He swept the stages so far. He's been here before and not taken it home, so let's see if he can come home with a win here today, but they debated changes. He said no, he feels good about that truck, so he's just going to get tires and ride this one out, guys.
All right, Josh, so that means the 11th truck, 0 changes, tires and fuel, and that is it for this dominant race truck tonight. Well, stage 1 and 2 have gone caution-free one time. Well, since 21, we did it today.
There's a place no map will show you. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that crave chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic tent? Oh, you bet. Every apex we nail, every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into the ride. Look like fun? It is. You in?
They're supposed to start at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
But
he really does seem to get in the middle of things. Calls.
Of course, we're going to be able to take this case.
Hey,
Not right now, man.
meetings. This year has started off everything, really.
Got squeeze in the middle here? All right.
But really, super stoked to have him here.
Morgan and Morgan and Eunice, America's largest injury law firm. Put the work.
Mommy, I have to go potty.
You gotta do it. Oh.
So, what's next?
Craftsman. What you build,
Put the work in. What do you drink when you win 8,500?
we drink the milk.
There is life outside of racing. Maybe that helps me get a girlfriend.
100 Days to Indy. Stream every episode now on Fox Station.
Ron, Phil, and DJ. The biggest names in the game are playing at Live Golf Dallas. Next on Fox.
Under the Saturday night lights at Richmond, there's no place to hide. Tight turns, tempers flaring. When the sun goes down and the stars fly. Dreams in the playoffs, live or die in prime time. 3 nights, 3 races, 1 shot, the best weekend of your summer. You better not miss it. NASCAR weekend at Richmond Raceway. Get your tickets now at richmondraceway.com. Welcome to Truck Country. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Welcome back to beautiful Bonham Rock Park, nestled inside Kennewick's scenic Northwest Hills. She is showing off today. Absolutely gorgeous. And our Todd Bodine has been taking us around this track. Todd, where are you now?
Well, this time, Jamie, I'm down here inside of turn 7, which to me is probably the most important corner on the racetrack. Earlier, I showed you where they come up the hill. This time, I want to show you where they come down the hill on the back straightaway.
Yellow's back out.
Into turn 7. And when you come down this hill into turn 7, you're carrying a lot of speed. And that's what turn 7 is about, carrying speed, carrying momentum. Because it leads you onto the front
Yeah, I
straightaway,
watched Cup qualifying yesterday.
and you can outbrake some 5 mile an hour over your competitor through this corner. You can actually draft them down the front, pull out, and outbrake them into the corner. But when you carry that extra speed through this corner, it comes with a risk, a price you might pay at one time. We've seen many drivers drive off the edge of the racetrack on exit, kicking up that dust. That's because they're pushing it right to the limit through this corner. And if you go over that edge, you're going to have a big problem on the exit of the corner. But everybody I talked to in the garage area, all the drivers said, you must respect turn 7, but you have to get through there the best you can. Jamie?
We've seen a lot of dirt kicked up inside turn 7 throughout today. And I think we're going to see a little bit more. Things are going to crank up a bit here for this final 30 laps in this final stage.
Yeah, I think, to Todd's point, there's a high risk, high reward, right? You got to make it count. Can't get too much.
Well, I mentioned that we went caution-free for those first 2 stages. I've done that since 2021. We've only had 2 cautions, and that, of course, was for both stage breaks. Corey Heim continues to lead, and then Lane Riggs, he will restart next to Corey Heim like he did last time. He did a nice job going into Big Bend for turns 1 and 2, but just could not.
And this is a big decision for the drivers. We saw the one of Brent Cruz get pushed out wide. We saw the 52, that's the 13. We saw a few go off track there. So this lane, you see the orange arrow, that's where drivers can select. Do I want to start on the inside or the outside? And in all the pre-race meetings, they try to discuss how many rows would I be willing to give up to be on the inside. I think we're going to see here some drivers elect that the inside is more important than maybe being forward a road.
Look how narrow that is around the tube zone. Everybody's pretty much.
There's Caden Honeycutt. He's the first one to give up a road. Right. Stay on the inside.
Pretty universal. Other than Honeycutt, we're going to get racing here. Love it.
Or take the inside there and give up a road. Yeah, to me, Michael, being in the right place is more important than maybe one spot.
Yes, sir. You mentioned it. Trevor Lane did a nice job on that last restart. He was right there, but just couldn't hold pace. Let's see if he can maybe make the move, get around Corey Heim and take the lead.
The rest of the field, when the leaders take the green, you'll see as we go down the hill here, you see that they're adding a lap. The lights are back on the pace truck. As we go down turn 7 into that restart zone, everyone except the leaders are still in that corner. It makes it really tough to get a launch when you have wheel input and you're still turning. You see the sign on the right there. That's the beginning of the restart zone.
They can go.
Taking off right there. And it's advantageous for that front row to go as soon as they can because that puts the other trucks behind them in that corner. Creates that little bit of a gap.
Everybody had me all fired up. I was ready to go.
I was going.
I was ready to go racing.
I thought you were going to miss the shift on the chip over there beside me. All right.
You already put another lap on me here.
See the AMR crew over there picking something up on the racetrack. That's why they added an extra lap. You know, we talked about this is the first time that the Craftsman Truck Series has ever raced in the state of Connecticut, but we do have a couple of drivers that you see racing on Sunday. They've got it done in the Truck Series. Joey Logano from Middletown, Connecticut, and Ryan Priest from Berlin, Connecticut. Ryan Priest, by the way, he's put together a great month of racing, trying to push for those playoffs. Look at that.
He is, and these two drivers couldn't have really had more different careers. Joey Logano was this young guy, comes in, gets a deal at Roush Fenway first at 15 years old, then Joe Gibbs Racing. Ryan Priest ran modifieds until what 3-4 years ago he gets.
So they're basically telling us that we could have seen Joey Logano racing with Roush. Can only imagine what that would be like.
Hey, Joey Logano, by the way, starting on pole for tonight, racing under the lights.
Echo Park Speedway, Atlanta. And a lot of fun to watch those cars and trucks race at Atlanta.
And Fords and super speedway type tracks, drafting tracks, you know, they're always tough to beat. Joey having that track position and being up front already will be tough to beat.
Wonder if the pace truck is stopping because somebody is leaking some oil onto the racetrack. Need to figure out how that's happening. That's what I think this is about. Not only to clean it up, but find out where it's coming from.
Bring them to a halt here. They get that cleaned up. There's the team. They are on it.
And you see that front truck with the number 3
Red flag is out.
Driving Spencer. They'll be looking to lay some of that down.
We saw this yesterday. Wesley Slim, he was had a tire blow and it cut his oil lines all over the racetrack. Oil went down. The team did a great job of getting it cleaned up, and that's exactly what they're faced with here.
This is interesting. So we didn't have an incident, so somebody is leaking fluid under caution.
Can't tell who it is.
And they barely caught that at the last second. We were about to go green right into the front stretch, and
that would have been wild, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So they're bringing out the red. As you see, the trucks are stopped. The crowd having a good time. Look at that. A lot of families running into there, a lot of camping, a lot of costumes.
A little bit of everything here.
That's right. They'll continue to clean up on the front stretch. The Sam Cozy straight with some fluid. Get that cleaned up and we'll step aside. 27 laps remaining from Lime Rock Park. You won't want to miss it. Who will take home the first one?
Granny?
What are you screaming?
Because you're screaming. Are you hiding from used car shopping?
Yeah. What if I were paid?
I get it. Nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident. But that's nothing to be afraid of.
Show me her box.
Knowing how a car's accident history impacts price means you don't have to overpay.
Go ahead, bring it back. Upward?
Definitely. No fear, just Fox. Say showmeacarfax.com.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing homebound.
You're 28, all right, 190.
I forgot to wash my work shirt. Just wear it again. I added Unstoppable, so don't overlock. And it keeps our clothes fresh all day. Ooh, I'm gonna be feeling it at work today.
She smells like I'm actually paying attention. Smell unstoppable.
Master Chef Dynamic Duos, July 9th on Fox.
Hi, I'm Jordan Rogers, and it's time for the Summer Sticker Sales event at Roseville Kia, and the deals are hotter than ever. Get great savings on the full lineup of new Kias, plus there's excellent financing options available. Take advantage of great holiday savings with flexible interest rates to fit any budget. Come and see why we're the #1 Kia sales volume leader. So folks, remember, we'll help you pay less so you can say yes.
At Roseville Kia, all family is yours.
Roseville Kia in the Roseville on the Mall.
Are we stranded?
Guys, I've got AAA.
When you're a AAA member, you're covered in anyone's car. AAA, your membership to go. Thunder, feel the thunder. It's the energy all around you. Lightning and the thunder. The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. Thunder. The roar of the crowd. The rush of pure exhilaration. See it. Hear it. Feel it.
They were about to go back green, but then they threw the red because someone was dropping fluid on the track.
We got 5 weeks down, a few weeks off, but then we're going back racing, short track style, and Lucas Oil Raceway Park and Indianapolis. That always puts on a great show Friday. Under the Lights, July 25th. Looking forward to that. Certainly have had fun today. I'm glad that you're joining us. Jamie Little, Trevor Bain, Michael Waltrip with you. You see the red flag displayed right now. Did not expect this. We have not had incidents that have brought out any additional cautions today, but suddenly we have fluid on the track. So we're trying to find, first off, the truck that is leaking.
Yeah, we got to get that square away. But I tell you what, Trevor, road courses are very physical. You're going left, going right. You're using your core. You're using your arms, your feet. I've never been hotter in a race car than I was at Sonoma one day when they had a red flag stop and trying to get water. But fortunately today the temperatures are relatively cool, so I think the guys are probably pretty cool inside those trucks. What are you doing right now? How are you trying to figure out how you're going to beat Corey Hive? Is that what drivers are thinking?
Absolutely. They know right now the restart is the best opportunity to go and pass whatever truck it is in front of them. It might be Corey Hive for the lead, but it might be somebody else for 10th place. You got to figure out how to take advantage of this restart. Because once we get singled out, we've seen it's been very tough to continue to make pace. I think a lot of these drivers get stuck just kind of following and visually watching the truck riding in front of them as we see that water getting handed out to you. Talk about they're picking those bottles back.
It's not an attaboy to these crews running around offering water. You said it, Michael. It's mid-70s. It's just beautiful. But I think it's more.
Yellow should be coming back out now.
Extra time to think about what can you do.
Well, for us, I think we're watching to see if they're going to continue to behave the way that they have so far. We've had 2 stages with 0 cautions, and so we'll see if they can keep that trend or if business is about to pick up.
Behave, you said.
That's
I haven't seen these truckers behave this long all year long, so we know what's that.
The one that is behaving is the 11, Corey Hive. Let's hear from his crew chief, Josh.
Yeah, standing alongside Scott Zipadelli, and I do want to clean one thing up. You did tell me they made an air pressure adjustment after stage #1, so they did make an adjustment, JB. But swept the stages. What are you telling your driver about getting this thing to victory lane now?
I think all you got to do is have a good, clean restart and just hit his marks, run his own laps, and let it work its way out. But, they could make adjustments to the trucks behind us and make the trucks better, but if we execute a good restart, get all the way through turn 5 clean, hopefully we don't have a lot of cautions going forward. We can pull this thing off.
Sounds simple enough to let the rest of the way down.
So cool, calm, and collected. That's Scott Zipadelli.
And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we've seen this story before. I think he could have won 10 races just as easily as won 4. It's just been problem plate that have really got these guys. So they. It's got to get back to his mind. What did go wrong today? We saw last week at Bunker. Really competitive and looking forward to deal with it last night.
A little extra motivation for Mr. Zipadelli. He's from Connecticut, Berlin, same place as Ryan Freese. That's pretty special if you can get it done here today. Well, it certainly has been their salute.
Well, I hope you didn't hear me say that. I don't want to write on the parade. They had a great day. I don't want to see anything go wrong, but it has happened before this year.
Well, for Scott, he knows he's done his job, right? Every time they show up to the track, these trucks are lightning fast. They know, we talked about all the sim prep. He knows that offset. What is real in sim versus what I need at the racetrack? He's able to give that to Corey Hahn. They both have that demeanor that you talked about, calm, cool, collected. That's not something we see at the racetrack all the time. So they've got their bearings, even when they've been routed late in the race before things happen. The flat pack. So to win the team, we checked all the boxes, we put ourselves in position. It is what it is. It's 4-1.
It's pretty neat when you look at the history here at Lime Rock Park. It opened in 1957, but some other legends won here. Mario Andretti, Dan Gurney, Newman, Scott Pruitt. The list goes on and on. Now today, somebody gets to add their name to their list. It's going to be special. We're going to find out. The laps are ticking. They are counting these laps. As Corey Hahn patiently waiting for this restart. Lane Riggs on the outside.
We've seen this before, Jamie. Lane Riggs, Corey Hahn, my goodness.
They're ready, but we are waiting. Extra lap.
Heck of a year for Corey Hahn. Everything went right, and a lot of things turned wrong late, as I mentioned.
4 times he's found victory lane.
This was at Homestead. The truck just cut off, middle of the race, and kept turning it back on. Then we go to Martinsville, that late race restart. Let's run up the track. Left rear cuts down.
Rockingham. That's his strategy. Not something that we typically see from this team.
Hit gun there at Kansas. No good for him. Right here, who's on the front row? Lane Riggs, Corey Hahn. How about North Wilkesboro? To get together, let's run off the racetrack.
And around he goes. Another victory slips away late. Pocono strategy was all over. Everything was set. Final restart. Everything's perfect.
And this was unbelievable. Just said on air, Corey Hahn, something happened. He comes up the radio and says, I think I've got a right rear going down. They come over. Absolutely, that's what's happening. Has to bring it to pit road when they took the green flag. So for him right now, he's looking at the racetrack for any debris. He's like, I cannot run over anything to get a flat. I've got this guy, Lane Riggs, beside me.
All right, lights off on the pace truck.
Maybe we can get through these corners. It's not as much of a line. But you look back in the field, but there are not as many tackles. Fifth place, Majeski, we mentioned, needs a win. Connor Bozak, right there in form. These guys are going to be going for it on this restart.
Look at this. Most laps led this season, 964. Raja Cruz, second most, 189. It has been incredible as they work their way down over the Sam Posey Straight. It's going to be Corey Hahn and Lane Riggs finally. That pace truck will pull off.
All right, here we go. Let's do this.
24 laps to go.
We're at 24 to go.
Final stage of this race.
All right, here we go.
Back in the air, nose to nose, down the straight.
Lane Riggs is already side drafting.
Fanning out, full contact.
Ooh, Craftsman goes wide and into the grassy.
Do we stay green here? He's able to keep it
Damn it, they can't get him.
back to the lead.
He went all day long. Went way inside the top 20 and just saw how hard it was to pass. Now Craftsman all the way back to the last. That's gotta hurt.
Connor Bozak able to make some gains there. We saw Jordan Taylor slip back to fifth, third place.
Hayden Honeycutt just cannot shake Chandler Smith. Used to have been going at it all race long.
Whoa. Ben Cruz trying to get inside of Raja. You see, Van Enfinger is going to take advantage of that battle. Ben's just been solid all day long. Gets another spot there.
9 trucks into the 9th spot.
23 to go.
Cruz now sets up that run on the turn 7. We talked about there's 3 balls through the turn 1. Thomas is doubtfully inside.
3 wide.
Do so for the first part.
What goes right with you? Took for the win. Thomas and Empty out of it. Quite a few, but they don't have to be the big picture and points.
Sideways up to able to recollect it there in front of Brandon Finger, who had just got by on the front stretch.
What about the intensity? I told you we got Corey to motoring in this race. These guys are going to start pushing themselves exactly what we're seeing.
Look at Cam Waters. 4 positions, knocking on the door of a top 10.
The top 2 has remained unchanged. Matt Crafton's coming in.
Don't go off course, running down the line. Meanwhile, the rest of the field, Corey Harmon up front, running about 95 miles per hour. Ben Rhodes, Tyler Ankrum back there at 99 and 18.
The weekend I expected for him. He's been around 20th place most of the day at 19th now. Both of his previous truck starts on road courses were top 5. So we would have been a name with his Cup experience and Xfinity experience. I would have thrown him to be a top 5, maybe a top 3 guy here.
I couldn't agree with you more. They started in practice. They didn't show much speed in that 92 Napa truck. Currently, number 19 is at 19. We're still most all day.
Gray right behind him.
There's something from that early off practice. Top 20. Jake Garcia is looking him over to that 13 truck.
So much more dirt on the racetrack than what we've seen all weekend. They got put side by side with Matt Mills.
That was the 22nd spot. Dawson Sutton looking on. They're battling all the way throughout the field. This is what we've seen all day.
There's the leader. As he crosses the line, we reached our Craftsman, 20 to go.
Time to go.
A 1-second lead over Lane Riggs. Riggs is shrinking that gap a little bit from what we've seen today.
Well, that half out, they both ran a 55.40, exactly the same time. So that's going to be weighing on the gas and having as good a lap time as he's had all day.
And you've got to wonder here, how much do you plan for a late race restart? You know, good 49, late Riggs. The lanes
Oh, Matt Mills in the grass. Dirt on the. He's gonna have to come on the pit road and get that clean. If he can't, get behind another driver. Alex LeBay is the only driver out of this race.
But for Corey, I would imagine you just do everything you can to maintain 1, 2, 3 second lead here. Right on the edge of that grass, they turn in, maximizing that angle.
It's been 1 2 that we're over to the only left-hander here on the circuit. Corey is precise all day long. Hasn't really put a wheel crooked all day. It is margin of dominance.
Just behind the 34. What a nice job he's done today. So moved up into the 3rd spot.
What about this variety of races? We got a couple of short tracks. Another road course. Majeski so good a year ago.
Look at playoff standings.
Look at this. 3 spots remain, and there's only 3 races after today to lock yourself in.
Well, with those races you just mentioned, we talked about the time Majeski and road courses. He won on that team in Richmond last year, so he's got a shot at winning one of those. That knocks out a spot. Kane Ernicott, we mentioned earlier in the show how impressive he's been everywhere. First time at this road course, any road course, running in the top 7. We have Watkins Glen on the schedule coming up, and we know anybody can win there as things get dicey. And so this could be the season that we see 10 winners to make 10 spots in the playoffs for the Truck Series.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Gio Rodero get a win in 2023 race. Big follow all year long.
And a great short track racer. That's the background he comes from. We're showing a lot of speed.
But don't count on your buddy Grant Infield. He's won an IRP before. You can get it done there as well.
And Ben Rhodes, a 2-time champion. He's got a different crew chief now. We'll see if they stick with that program after this little break that we'll have. And he's in a must win at this point. He's still on outside of the bubble, but he can do it.
still think it's just so cool watching him flipping his flat up off the downhill corner there. So much power now. Trying to get into that long front straightaway.
Jordan Taylor, first time race, stepped in the top 5 all day long.
Done a nice job. Use of this vehicle.
Guys, I get a little PTSD when I come back to Live Rock. My first ever test at a road course was at this track. Mike Ricci, that runs Star Motorsports, phenomenal guy. He still gives me a hard time about it. I saw him last weekend at Pocono, and he had to bring up the story. It was raining here. I get up in the ground, slide into the tires, take the steering wheel off, lay it on the dash. Nobody could hear you inside the car. Well, the button was keyed up. And I'm breathing heavy. I said, Ricci's going to kill me. And every time I see him, he's like, no, I'm not going to kill you, man. You'll be all right.
Great memories of all the challenges we've had getting up to the big leagues in NASCAR. And that's where these guys are today, looking to make it a tough one day.
Corey Heim, he's done it all today, including the fastest lap of the day. You see that little clock? He continues to lead by 1.3 seconds over Lane Riggs. 16 laps to go from Line Rock.
When Brad killed the heavy V8, people had opinions. We got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi. And it's saying, I'm back. Wrong arm, buckle up. Brand's coming back to NASCAR. Let's go, baby. We're back in American motorsport. The Hemi's back. We ain't gone anywhere.
Sarah Benzino, Brandon Foley, Jablonski Auto Body, LLC. Woo! She called her husband.
Oh, you need to watch the Auto Body LLC.
They actually sold the twins' naming rights.
Yeah, like stadiums, the kids are so expensive these days. Here you go.
Oasis Breeze 10. Investment options.
What's the right money to start as a
Look at that, hon. The Takis Fuego. Wendy's spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis chips and Fuego fries inspired by Takis. So Takis fans, you're welcome. And new Takis fans, good luck. For an intense new take on Takis, gotta be Wendy's.
They say you can't change the game. While they're talking, we're out here dominating. So let them talk. Sketchy basketball comes with that performance.
It's the Brickyard 400, presented by PPG.
This is such a prestigious place and such hallowed ground.
This 3-day NASCAR Crown Jewel event features the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250.
This is the Brickyard. This is Indianapolis. This is the coolest race in the world.
Don't miss the start of NASCAR. Drive for a chance to kiss the bricks. Brickyard Weekend is available now at IMAX.com.
It's Saturday night. You could be watching baseball, but guess what, buddy? You're stuck here. Listening to Susan talk about a dog pooping pro. You're going to be not No, Saturday is for this. And it's Saturday night, it's baseball night in America. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, racing from Live Rock Park. Step aside, you didn't miss anything. Dawson Sutton saw he had an issue. But we stay green, 13 laps to go. Another off-road excursion for the 88.
Boy, I'm able to work his way. There's Dawson Sutton. We talked about this. Here's the black ahead. Figure out how that went down. Well,
They rolled out on the racetrack.
Well, so that's really high. We don't need that after this. We call this a walk in the park.
Tire carcass that just came.
Sometimes when you lose a tire like that, it'll cut a brake line and put pressure on the pedal to be able to slow it down.
You're watching the battle for 9. Thomas Annunciata and Brett Cruz right here. It's been fun to watch. Later, if you want to see a little more racing, we have a lot more for you. 4 o'clock on FS2 American Art Series Race 2. Starting on pole.
Cruz second. They've got the front row, so be a good battle.
Oh.
Once again.
Why'd you have to bring Corey Heim into this, Michael?
Matt Mills is stuck.
Usually this year, late race drama, I don't think Bill's going to get going.
Either. Stuck there. You see the rear end?
And yep, that's going to be a caution.
Don't be glad until this off-road excursion.
Yep, there's the caution.
The time that he went off-road, and a caution is out. This is the first caution we've had for incidents.
Matt Mills can continue. He just needs to be pulled out of there.
The third official caution of the day.
Off the turn one, that's the tire dimension for my off-road excursion there. Once you jump on left side off in turn one, it just, sometimes it feels like it picks up speed with the grass until you get to the tires. It's where Brandon Peter went off in qualifying.
So now what?
See if we can see what happens.
Oh, wow.
Straight off the road. I think that's a brake issue, Trevor?
Brake or the lack of braking at the right time. I'm not sure, Michael, if he was locked up going into it or if he just didn't have enough brakes. Jamie, you say now what? Now you reset, get your mind right for another restart. I don't believe we'll see our front guys come and get tires here because we've seen how difficult it is to get track position back. The leaders, we mentioned trying to take care of those tires. You don't need a 7-second lead. That's exactly why you saw Corey taking his time. Didn't need to extend that lead. Take care of it as much as we can. Now he's going to restart on the bottom again. Hopes he gets a good launch and has that leverage that he's had every time through turn one on lane breaks. But let's stay with us.
Stay with us.
There's a place no map will take. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that created chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic table? Oh, you bet. Every apex we nail.
So far, the weather is looking good for Atlanta later on.
Look like fun? It is. You in?
Yeah, looks like it's out right? So safe and protected out there.
Primarily pumped up over the little ones. Bracelet for my husband. Like you're having fun.
Lucky rabbit and Scoot. It's Swedish. That's a whole rabbit. Named Scoot.
Well, there's really no need for a Lucky Charm when you ride.
Not with America's #1 motorcycle insurance got your back. We're just going to ignore the fact that Paul has a rabbit. Named Scoot.
Mommy, I have to go potty. So, what's next?
Craftsman. What you build, builds you.
Look at that, the Takis Fuego meal. Freddy's spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis chips and Fuego fries inspired by Takis. So Takis fans, you're welcome. And new Takis fans, good luck. For an intense new take on Takis, got LiUNA's.
Not feeling the grays but don't want to color? Try Just for Men Control GX Spray Reducing Shampoo. Just shampoo like you do to gradually reduce grays. Now boosted with carrots. Hair looks 2 times thicker to keep you looking your best. Control GX Shampoo.
A beautiful day and a great crowd taking in their first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Ross Park. The weather has been on our side. And I just love this racetrack. Open in 1957. They never had it features. Bring what you want to sit in. The chair and the blanket.
That's like when I go to Sonoma now as a fan. I just wander around everywhere. Go to the corners, go to the edges. That's what it's all about. Taking in the event. That's what I love about NASCAR racing. So much of it is just an event. The racing is awesome, but hanging out with your family, that's on the hillside, taking it all in. That's too sad.
Are you a blanket or a chair guy?
I'm a blanket guy. I like to carry my blanket in my backpack.
Your picnic basket,
That's right.
cold beverages.
Cold beer.
Tires going for the 88 truck from Matt Craftsman.
Got some issues. Let me see the Menards Ford. Had a rough day for Matt. Got off track one time and it's been a struggle. Wesley Smith, another guy that's been on a bit of a struggle with us today. He lacked out. Now he's, I don't know if he's out of time.
Michael, Matt Craftsman was a free pass there. I know it's going to be hard to get everything back that he lost in turn 1 and 2, but new tires we've seen fall off be a real thing lap time wise.
We also
think this is a good opportunity for him to maybe get some spots back.
Also think that's a very, very difficult thing. He's going to have the whole field ahead of him.
For Atlanta, as far as the weather's concerned, looks like we're just gonna have like lightning in the area. I don't know how close the lightning will be, but we can only hope that will be like within, well, not within the 8-mile zone around the track. Yeah, so far it's looking good. It says it's sunny and cloudy. That's all it says, right? I mean, sometimes what I see on the weather app on my phone is not always accurate, but I'm guessing that's the perfect. Oh, Wesley Slim just stopped on the track. Out of all the road course ringers or guys who've had road course experience in general, so far it looks like Connor Mosack has been the best one out of all. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. It could be Jordan Taylor.
You know, he put in the road course cards very early on. Chase Elliott did the same thing.
Jordan Taylor's fifth, having a quiet.
We're seeing this happen more and more, even as I start to think about my kids.
Thomas Annunziata's having. Then we got 3 Spire trucks in the top 10. Taylor, Caruth, and Annunziata. Cam Waters doing.
Yesterday, to the track house track here, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, got him behind the wheel.
Probably one of the most expensive decisions I've ever made. To go there yesterday, not because of what yesterday was, but because of what my next 15 years are.
I don't want to hear you tell me.
Speaking of Shaman Ginsburg and what he did in Chicago, our leader, Corey Heim, will be behind the wheel for 2311, racing Chicago next weekend for the 4th of July. And he's prepared. Good on road courses because he had to do it in the ARCA. He's had to do it here in the truck.
It'd be cool if SVG did the truck race at Lime Rock Park.
Perfect today for sure. Won every lap today. I'm on both stages going for his first straight road course.
We heard anything, we ended up the trophy yet, that's for sure. Especially right now with what we're dealing with. And
Corey will tell you that too, by the way.
Absolutely, and as much as I'd love to see him close this out with the dominant day he's had, you have 3, 4, 5 truck drivers behind him that are going to do everything they can to find an advantage on this next restart.
We've seen in qualifying Jordan Taylor's sliding his front tire. We've seen Will
How the fuck did Tanner Gray lead a lap?
Take this win away from Corey Hine late as we're choosing it up here.
Jordan Taylor in the 7 truck.
0 inside.
Nope, they're not going green.
He wasn't practicing qualifying.
They were practicing.
We're practicing choosing. Okay, perfect. Do it again.
Choose it up next time.
It's like, well, once one person does it, you're like, you're not.
I gotta make sure I'm getting on the right side of this thing.
You don't want to run over that. If you don't choose and you run over that orange arrow there, it is a penalty to go to the back. So these drivers, if I see somebody doing it, I'm going to go ahead and make my choice too.
Andres Perez talked about him quite a bit between practice yesterday, qualifying this morning. The driver from Mexico City, Mexico. He did a couple weekends ago. His track was pretty exciting for him.
Juarez.
Oh my gosh.
Got to celebrate in his home country.
Go to Mexico City and see that these guys when they report that this dream here is as big as contending for a championship, and I'm sure Andres Perez was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, certainly was. Had a chance to talk with Andres about his rookie campaign. He said it's been up and down. He said, I often felt like I deserved better finishes than what the scorecard showed. But he felt, of course, very confident coming in here. Maybe some of his road course racing background. But you guys were talking about the fact that he's from Mexico City. He said, I actually spent the greater portion of my career in Mexico, and I had to come
Just going around here in Stockton. Around here in downtown Stockton.
Yeah, full-time ARCA series. He was flying back and forth racing in a Mexican Truck Series championship and going to school. He was doing it all. He won the championship in ARCA last year, and now here making a name for himself in the Mexican Truck Series. Choosing it up.
For real this time. What if anybody picked different this time? I think I messed that up the first time.
It was just practice.
See if we can get a picture-perfect restart here for Corey Heim. Got to execute.
Tires getting cleaned up. A lot of rubber on this racetrack. Want to make sure you don't do anything to get full spin here.
5 laps to go.
Now we turn 6.
I know 49 is dominating.
In Connecticut. Connecticut. The state of Connecticut on the East Coast. No, it's sunshine. Look. Oh. Boom. Lane Riggs is going to get the... No. There we go. There's the K. Raja Karuth.
Runs coming back on track. Jordan Taylor moving back in. Got that going. He took
yet.
Some damaged trucks after that restart.
Rick Cruz off. There's Roger Cruz coming back on.
Wow. Shuffling it just like that. Corey Heim, Tyler Chesky in his second. Gio Ruggiero.
That was the first restart we've seen on old tires. They do brand new tires every time.
All right, 5 to go. The truck race at Lima. Well, got chaotic, that's for sure. And Canton Waters up there. Damn it. Fucking Lane Riggs, he blew it.
Gets in deep and everyone kind of follows him down in there as he locks up as they check up. Just everybody getting into everybody there. Probably a lot of dirt and dust flying.
Damn, Jack Wood had a close call. Yeah, that's all she wrote. Josh Balicki's a fuck. And just like that, they're
Still slipping and sliding, though, Trent.
Absolutely.
Jesse would like to see if he has anything for that 11 truck. Hanging tight with him right now.
I'm so impressed by 4th spot Ben Rhodes. He just maximized on that restart. Did he really gain 12 spots just avoiding the chaos?
Remember when they were practicing choosing? He chose right. So right.
There's Ben Rhodes.
Nice run for the 99 truck.
He lives in Kentucky, your home state, Michael, and he was, I talked to him this week, he was driving up to Sandusky, Ohio, where his team is based. He goes up there every week.
2 to go.
Creative with our setup, don't know what to expect. Of course, racing isn't his favorite thing to do, but heck, what a run.
Well, this is Ben Rhodes. He always seems to be able to find a way every year, even in the playoffs, to just survive and make it to the end of these. And it paid off again for him today.
It looks like Lane Riggs only led 1 lap.
Pretty calm, but obviously a Truck Series race.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I don't think Majeski's gonna get him.
Continues to dominate here. A lap and a half to go. Gio Ruggiero,
Nice job for Gio again.
20 years old, just 2 spots behind his teammate Corey Hine. There he is.
Take the white flag this time here, Jamie.
Corey Hine will be relieved to see that fly in the air.
White flag, 1 lap to go.
The next flag will end the race, whether that's a caution or the checkered flag. Final lap for Corey Hine.
I'd like to say, maybe.
Yeah, there's just no way he.
This last lap, final lap, but the last lap he was 10 steps through the field. So no locking it down at this point for that 11 truck. Just executing perfectly.
Corey Hine, the 22-year-old from Marietta, Georgia. Doing unbelievable things, rewriting the record books and laps led, stage wins, domination.
Man, Lane Riggs almost had it, but he blew it.
Next weekend, he will be.
And I believe already, Jamie, he is a Sunday guy that's racing on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah, it's over. Checkered flag, Corey Hine is gonna win Lime Rock Park. And he led all but 1 lap. Damn it. Well, congratulations, Lane Riggs. You had 1 shot. You had 1 shot to get the win, and you fucking blew it. Damn, a lot of the drivers who were up there for most of the race, yeah, they blew it. Lane Riggs, Jordan Taylor, Connor Mosack, they fucking blew it.
Well deserved.
Damn, and Annunziata missed out on the top 10. I mean, it wasn't.
It's been about a year since we've done this. Workhorse racing, turning left and right, and Corey Hine did very, very much well.
I'm not. I was thinking that drivers were going to contend, but yeah, you can. It's also the. I don't know if it's the racetrack or what, but the package they're using, yeah, it's not working. Nothing's working. Like no one didn't even try to pass Corey Hine for the win. They blew on that last restart. You know what? Sometimes I feel like they're just letting him get away with these wins. It's like, are they even trying? And it still baffles me that none of the other Tricon trucks, they're getting close to a win. It's just a matter of when at this rate. Not if, but when.
Gonna have some fun. All those fans.
Goodness. Fuck. At least Cam Waters, Josh Bilicki, and Brett Cruz got top 10, so I'll give that.
Boy, saluting those fans right now, Jamie. Wanting them to get on their feet and cheer. You can hear the crowd going wild, enjoying.
Yeah, none of the road course ringers in this field didn't even put. I mean, it was cool to see them run the top 10 like Taylor, Annunziata, Brent Cruz, but I feel like they could have done more. And those who were wanting Brent Cruz to win, that didn't age well. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later on in a few hours for the cup race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. With that, I'll see y'all then. Till then, have a good one. Stay safe, everyone.
Can imagine the frustration there, just trying to get everything.
All right, see y'all then. All right, bye, everyone. See you at 4. All right, peace.
If you're the team, don't you appreciate that one area he threw? He just